Welcome to Career Tracks, Self-Discipline and Emotional Control with Dr. Tom Miller. This 2-volume videotape seminar is, in a word, unique. We would like to take this opportunity to warn you about Dr. Miller's presentation style. First of all, he's sensitive.
Or she could be thinking, well, listen, he don't really care about me that much. He's just using flowers. Hopes he gets lucky.
He's caring.
John Denver even sings something about sunshine on his shoulders makes him happy. That's drivel! The sun does one thing. It shines. That's it!
He's subtle.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Sit down! Right? That's the new greeting. So you see each other again, how do you say hi? Sit down! How do you say hi otherwise?
Sometimes he's flat out bizarre.
This ain't right now!
But seriously, although his style is outrageous, Dr. Miller's credentials are first-rate. In addition to being an internationally renowned trainer, Tom has a PhD in psychology and is a practicing psychotherapist. Dr. Miller is a highly sought-after consultant to many leading companies throughout North America, and after joining Career Track in 1987, Tom has become one of our biggest stars. As you will soon see, this is truly an interactive program. We encourage you to actively participate. Imagine yourself as a member of the studio audience, sitting in one of the back rows, shouting out your answers to Tom's questions. To get the most out of this program, use the workbook we've provided. That should make your learning experience even greater. Now, let's join Tom as he explains the overall goal of this program.
The overall goal of this program is dramatic performance improvement. When most intelligent, motivated, and well-intentioned people perform poorly, they do so because of one or two reasons. One, they periodically overreact emotionally and exhibit counterproductive behavior patterns. Or two, they have one or two bad habits that they haven't been able to change, even though these characteristics have been pinpointed year after year on your performance reviews. What this program will give you is the ability to take any overreactive emotional reaction you have, replace it with a reasonable one. Take any behavior pattern that you have that you don't like, get rid of it, and replace it with one that you do like. Won't that be nice? The specific system you're learning is called Rational Emotive Therapy, or RET for short. RET was developed in the mid-50s by Albert Ellis, who's probably the most powerful and influential psychologist that's alive today. Now let me outline the program for you. They'll be like in 4 sections. The first sections will cover emotions, where they come from, and what they really mean. The second and the third section will cover 3 irrational thinking styles of the 4 that we'll cover totally. These irrational thinking styles are responsible for when we get over upset. It's these thinking styles that cause us to get over upset. We'll go over why they're irrational, what to come up with to replace them with so that we're thinking sensible thought processes rather than the irrational ones, so that these same events can happen to us, and instead of us getting over upset, we'll just get reasonably upset. The names of those thinking styles are demandingness, awfulizing, I can't stand it-itis. Those are the 3 we'll cover in the 2 sections. Then the 4th section will cover the condemning and damning thinking style, and that's mostly related to the system of self-esteem. So the 4th section will cover self-esteem as why the concept does not work very well for most all of us all of the time. And we'll go over the tricks that are used that make it not work so well. Fix the tricks so that they can't be used in that negative way anymore, so that the concept does work pretty well for us, most all of the time. Okay, now we'll start the first section in the emotions. where they come from. Let me tell you 3 generic stories to drive home the major point of today. Suppose that you and I have a couple friend, and the male of that couple gives the female of that couple a whole bunch of flowers. Now when she gets the flowers from him, that's just something that happens to her. In a total emotional and behavioral reaction pattern, there's always 4 separate, distinct things that always happen to a human being. In the first case, some event is presented to you. In this case with her, she got the flowers. The very next thing every human being does is they go, and they decide in here what that event means. Then depending upon what they think it means, they get an emotional reaction that's logical for that interpretation process. And that emotional reaction then generates some type of observable behavioral response pattern. So if you had to guess in my story, how do you think the female probably ends up feeling emotionally when she gets the flowers from him? That's not a hard question, folks. How do you think she ends up feeling emotionally? Yeah, excited. What emotion we call that? Happy, right. And if she was feeling happy and we were the proverbial fly on the wall watching her, what type of behavior might we see her engage in? Smile, yeah, what else? What about hug, kiss, put the flowers in the vase, say thank you, aren't they pretty, those types of things. So far in the system, we've covered 3 out of the 4 things. The event was, she got the flowers. We skipped over the, you guys told me she felt happy, and happy generated the, yeah, smile first, and then, now knowing that she ends up feeling happy, because that's what you guys told me, what do you think she thinks it means that he gave her the flowers? This means that he loves me. Isn't that wonderful, boy? Am I lucky? Those types of thoughts. Those types of thoughts make her feel, and the happy generates the. Now there's a problem though, isn't there? Females don't always feel happy when they get flowers from males, do they? Sometimes they get the big S. What is it? Suspicious. Yeah, you guys know. And if she ends up feeling suspicious, we know he ain't going to be getting the big warm hug and kisses, is he? She's going to be acting somewhat less warm. We also notice that she's not sitting there thinking, this means he cares about me, isn't this wonderful boy, am I lucky? If you had to take a shot at what you think she thinks it means when she ends up feeling suspicious, what do you think she thinks it means then? What's he do? What's he done? Wrong. Yeah, not good. What he did wrong. Yeah. Oh, good. Or she could be thinking, well, listen, he don't really care about me that much. He's just using flowers. Hopes he gets lucky. But she's having some type of negative thought pattern to interpret the meaning of getting the flowers from him. Now we're going to do something interesting. Let's suppose the point between our 2 noses is where she gets the flowers from him. And over here is where she thinks means he cares about me. Boom! That makes her feel happy. Over here is where she thinks means he's up to something no good. Boom! It makes her feel suspicious. Now back up here is his actual 2 possible motivations. This one is he really does care. This one is he really is up to something no good. Now both of these motivations lead him to do exactly the same thing, which is to give her the flowers. Now I'll do the first 3 quarters, and you guys practice audience participation. Now audience participation means I tend to ask you questions all program long, just like I have been doing. And I would greatly appreciate it if you would answer them back. Out loud. Now I know some people feel a little bit initially uncomfortable answering questions out loud in a group setting like this, because you're not used to it. If you feel the least bit uncomfortable, please at least lip sync your answers back! Now many times I get together with my speaker buddies. One of the things we always end up talking about somehow are you guys. The audiences that we get to present in front of, one of the things my buddies always complain about are those people in the back of the room. How uninvolved those people always are. I tell my buddies, listen, I have never, ever had a problem with the people in the back of the room. As a matter of fact, some of my best friends sit in the back of the room. Hi, what's your name? Lucy. Lucy. Guess what, Lucy? You're now the captain of the people In the back of the room. So anybody in these rows or back is now considered to be the back of the room. Now, just to see how loud the back of the room is supposed to be all program long, we're going to practice the first answer on the count of 3. Now, the first answer in this routine is happy. Okay, now, many times when I have you guys answer questions, I'll tell you ahead of time what the answers are. The answers in this routine are happy, suspicious, happy, suspicious. Now, those aren't too hard, are they? No, okay. So, back of the room only. Give me a nice, full, loud, happy on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3! Happy! They're going to bury you people in the front of the room now. Morning, what's your name? Julie. Julie. Guess what, Julie? You're now the captain of the people in the front of the room. Now, just to be fair, we'll let the front of the room practice. So, front of the room only, give me a nice, full, loud, happy on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3! Happy! Okay, now just the boys! Ready? 1, 2, 3! Happy! Now the girls! Ready? 1, 2, 3! Happy! Okay, here's the review. The fact is, he really does care about her. Gives her the flowers. She thinks that it means that he cares about me. She's gonna feel happy! Did you hear many boys? I hardly heard any boys at all. Boys, come on! This ain't tough! It goes happy, suspicious, happy, suspicious. Matter of fact, the people sitting near the boys, when you're saying this real loud, you listen to the boys out the side of your ears to make sure they're saying this real loud too. Come on, let's go. The fact is, he really does care about her. Gives her the flowers. She thinks that it means that he cares about me. She's gonna feel happy! He really does care about her. Gives her the flowers. But she thinks it means he's up to something no good. She's gonna feel suspicious! And he really is up to something no good. Gives her the flowers. But she thinks it means he cares about me. She's gonna feel happy! And suspicious! So you see how she ends up feeling don't have a damn thing to do with his motivation, does it? Because she can end up feeling happy or suspicious when in fact he cares. She can end up feeling happy when in fact he's up to something no good. And it really don't have anything to do with the flowers per se, except they have to be there as a functioning reality, or one or both of them are hallucinating. But the real causative factor of how she ends up feeling is where? Is where? In red. So does he do it to her? No. Do you hear the drop in volume? Back of the room only. The answer to this one is no. Let's try it again. So does he do it to her? No. Front of the room only now. Do the flowers do it to her? No. Everybody now. Does she do it to her? Yes. Yeah! She do it to her every time now. You better get used to this, honey. This goes on all program long now. Second story. You and I get a pain right here. Now when we become aware of the pain, that's just some event that's happening to us. The very next thing every human being is going to do after they become aware of the pain is they're going to go, whoosh. They're going to decide in here what that pain means. That's the function of this thing up here. This is what you guys think. Just gas. Something I ate a little while ago. It'll be gone in half an hour. Now you think those 3 thoughts to interpret the meaning of this pain, going to get yourself about this upset. Now remember, I have the same pain you do. Caused by the very same thing, except when I notice my pain, I think, oh my goodness, it's cancer! I'm gonna die! It's gonna be extremely painful. Do I get this upset? No. I proceed to blow myself out of the water. Do we both have the same pain? Yes. Yeah, so it cannot be the pain now. It's a causative agent of how you and I end up feeling. So when you guys get this upset in the pain story, who causes that? Well, you don't know which pronoun to use. So whenever I get you to answer for yourself, you guys always say, I do, okay? Let's try it again. When you guys get this upset in the pain story, who causes that? I do. When I get this upset in the pain story, who causes that? I do. Yeah, don't say I do for me now, damn it! You say you do for me! Damn! Let's get the pronouns straight. Now, I want you to be thinking about a buddy of yours at work that's not here today, if you have one. And a buddy of yours at not work, somebody you hang out with outside of work that's obviously not here. And rather quickly after you get done with the program, once you get to those two buddies, teach them as much as you can remember about what we covered here. So we create 2 support systems out there for you to keep using this stuff over and over and over again until you become an absolute expert at it. But remember now, when you're teaching a buddy the pain story, always remember to make you out to be the stupid one. Just like I did, right? I mean, I could switch the story. It's my story. I could have had you guys been the ones that thought you had cancer. I could have been the one that thought I had gas. Would work both ways, wouldn't it? So in teaching the buddy the pain story now, always let them be the one that's got gas. Makes it easier for them to listen. You be the one that has cancer. Okay, now we'll do the third story. 2 people in an airplane, 30,000 feet in the air, going 400 miles an hour. So they're both exactly in the same event. One's female, one's male. Female sitting there, calm as a cucumber, getting a little work done, meeting some people next to her, doing a little networking, right? Getting some work done too. Man, male sitting there. Shaking so bad, he don't even dare touch his cup of coffee, because he knows if he does, he'll get it all over everybody in the plane. Well, obviously, being on the plane is not the causative agent of how these 2 people are feeling and behaving. If you had to take a shot at the females, interpretation process of the meaning of the safety factor being on this plane, what do you think she thinks the safety factor is? High. What's the guys thinking? Yeah, this sucker's going down, and I know it's going down. Hey, listen, I wouldn't be nervous if it wasn't going down, so since I'm nervous, it proves it's going. Brilliant thought process, isn't it? Now we're going to do a review called the 7 do's to establish the entire point of the whole program. 7 answers, 2 words each. The second word in each answer is do. Some of you look a little confused. I'll tell you ahead of time what the answers are. The answers are she do, I do, you do, she do, he do, I do. Now some of you English majors in here probably realize that's not correct English. And hopefully most all of you have already picked up on the fact that I like to play around with the tenses and switch them around and change them and those types of things. I hope that's all right with most of you. But I know some people feel a little bit uncomfortable using English incorrectly, especially out loud in a group setting like this. So, just to get you used to it, we'll practice the first answer on the count of 3. Remember, the first answer in this routine is she do. Okay, so on the count of 3 now, give me a nice loud she do on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3! She do! Okay, here's the review. The female in the flower story, when she ends up feeling happy, who causes that? She do! The female in the flower story, when she ends up feeling suspicious, who causes that? She do! When you guys get this upset in the pain story, who causes that? I do. You hesitated on that one. Come on, damn it. That's I do. When you guys get this upset in the pain story, who causes that? I do. When I get this upset in the pain story, who causes that? You do. The female on the plane when she's calm, who causes that? She do. The male in the plane when he's nervous, who causes that? He do. Whenever you get upset about anything, who causes that? I do. You didn't know that before! You used to think it do, they do. You see, you've just become absolutely abnormal. Less than 1% of the entire human race understands what you just learned. You just learned the most powerful, fundamental fact for governing the rest of your life. Nobody has the power to determine your emotional and behavioral reactions other than who? I do. Yeah. So who's got total control over their emotions now? Yeah. How's that feel? Good. Yeah, except you don't know what to do with it yet. But don't worry. That's what the rest of the program's all about. However, once you remain normal, like all the rest of the people that aren't in this room, and you continue to make the fundamental mistake of thinking it's the actual events that happen to you, or the way other people treat you that cause the way you feel and behave. And you know that's the way you used to think before you walked in those doors. And you know that's the way everybody outside of this room thinks, because everybody out there is brought up to believe, think, and talk like that. You know, the people out there still say things like, "Woo! The boss really made me angry this morning. So-and-so hurt my feelings. Such and such situation makes me nervous. John Denver even sings something about sunshine on his shoulders makes him happy. That's Dribble! The sun does one thing. It shines. That's it. So if John ends up feeling happy about the sunshine, who's causing that? You. Who said is? That's he do, damn it. That's the ain't do. We're going to write him a group letter, tell him to fix that song, stop spreading these lies all over the universe. However, once you remain normal and continue to make the fundamental mistake of thinking that it is the actual events that happen to you or the way other people treat you that cause the way you feel and behave, then that mistake relegates you to two normal options of dealing with the people out there. Normal option number one is somehow you have to find a way to get them to stop it! Stop treating me like this! Doesn't that make sense? Once you think that it's the way they treat you that gets you this upset, and you don't like being this upset, then isn't your only, quote, supposed option is you got to get them to stop doing what was supposedly upsetting you in the first place? Well, obviously, every one of you in this room has miserably failed at that task, haven't you? Otherwise, you wouldn't be here today now. But don't make yourself feel bad, because everybody miserably fails at that task, because who controls how they behave? They do. You don't have to whisper in here. They do. See, so after you've tried and tried and tried and tried, all your imaginative creative ways, see if you can get them to stop it, and you have to brilliantly conclude that there just seems to be no way to do it, then that relegates you to normal option number two. Transfer them! And if you can't figure out a way to transfer them, somehow you have to try to transfer yourself away from them. But you see, many, many times, transferring them or you is not politically or economically feasible. So then you end up being stuck with them. And the only active problem-solving behavior you engage in is every night you have nightmares about killing them! And some people rush up to me at the break and they say, Tom, they're not nightmares now. I enjoy them! I'm going to show you how fast this thing in here works. I'm going to ask you a question about this thing in my hand. I want you to watch how fast, how easy the answer just drops out your mouth. The speed and ease at which you answer this question is going to show you how fast the thing in there works. Ready? What's the color of the card? Red. Couldn't get it to the table before you answered, huh? Did anybody in this room have to consciously think to answer that question? Anybody? Don't admit it if you did. But you see, if I asked you that same exact question when you were about this big, you wouldn't even know what the hell I was talking about. You didn't even know what the word color meant, let alone know names of the colors or have the ability to hook them up with the right shades. But then if I asked you that question when you were about this big off the floor, when you were right in the middle of learning colors, you had to consciously think it through. You couldn't have answered as fast. And if you talked out loud to show us your conscious thought process, it would have gone something like this. It would have gone, colors? I know a little bit about colors. Is that black? No. It's a green. Oh, the bull. Might be red. I think I tell her red. Then out loud you behave very tentatively. You go, is it red? Right? And then with a little more repetition, drove those thought processes lower in your brain. Ever since then, fell out of your mouth just like it did a few minutes ago. The point is, you weren't born genetically knowing colors. How'd they get in here? Let's try it again. How'd they get in here? Learn. You think you learned everything else that goes on in there. Here's the premise of the program. The way you behave is directly influenced by how you feel. The way you feel is always and only created, controlled, and maintained by what goes on in here. The way you feel and behave is absolutely never, ever, ever caused by the way these people treat you or the things that happen to you. The power and the control is totally in here, and everything in here has been learned. Here's the premise. Anything that was once learned can be unlearned, and something else relearned. To replace that old learning with. So if you can train yourself to think in much more hard-nosed, literal, precise, and accurate fashions when it comes to interpreting what it really means that these big bad events are happening to you or these people are treating you so badly. And that's exactly the way nobody in this culture is brought up to think. Hard-nosed, literal, precise, and accurate in the emotional areas. Now, luckily, most of us are brought up to think hard-nosed, literal, precise, and accurate when it comes to things like spending our money and making business decisions. And that's why we do pretty good in those two areas. But flat out, nobody is brought up to think hard-nosed, literal, precise, and accurate in the emotional areas. And that's why we're periodically such basket cases and blow ourselves out of the water emotionally. And when we've blown ourselves out of the water emotionally, those are the times that we then exhibit behavior patterns that after the fact, we're not too pleased with how we behaved. And there's a whole bunch of people who work or live with us who are also not too pleased with how we behaved. So in order to get your major concern accomplished about watching this program, which I hope is to dramatically improve your performance, in order to do that, though, you first have to be able to change your behavior. You have to change your behavior. But before you can change your behavior, you have to keep yourself from being blown out of the water, over upset, and just get yourself reasonably upset. And luckily you can do that without ever first having to get these events in your life to be different or to get these people to stop treating you in those ways. Because again, how upset you get has nothing to do with the way people treat you or the things that happen to you. That's totally controlled by what you allow to occur in here. And after you've trained this thing in here to think in much more hard-nosed, literal, precise, and accurate fashions, then those same bad treatment variables can happen to you. Those same big bad events can happen to you. And instead of you getting, you'll just get reasonably upset. And when you're just reasonably upset instead of over upset, you still have two things left. You still have choice, and you still have control over how you're going to choose to behaviorally respond to that situation. And that is the absolute key to being able to dramatically improve your performance. Now, there's two parts of your brain we'll talk about all program long. Not one in there like everybody thinks. There's two. Outside part of your brain, the big word for it is the neocortex. Now, that's the conscious center of your brain. That's where you actually hear yourself thinking what you're thinking. Now, not only do I like to play around with the tenses, I hate big words. Right? So you will not hear neocortex again. Whenever referring to the conscious part of the brain, we'll make a symbol for it like this with this hand. That part of the brain I call the rider. Now the deeper part of your brain, the big word for it is the limbic system. That's where all your learned, stored, habitual, automatic information is kept. That's the part of your brain that answered this question for you without you having to consciously think about it. That part of the brain, the symbol for it is whenever we do this with this hand. That part of the brain I call the horse. And I call it a horse because it tends to function like one. You have a horse, let's say, in a riding area, play stable or whatever. You can teach that horse a certain path. Horse able to learn that path so well. Put any rider on that horse, and the horse take a ride around the path. But if the rider tries to deviate off that path, the horse resists like crazy and always wants to come back to this initially learned path. Well, this part of our brains works exactly the same way. Now go back to when most of you are around 16, 17, 18 years old. Now I realize that's a ways back for some of you. Back when you first learned how to start and drive the car, well, before you ever got your hot little hands on the wheel, what you did in the, say rider, say loud, rider part of your brain, you learned a very detailed sequential set of instructions as to the exact behavioral body part movements to put your body through in order to start and drive the car correctly. Now, if you can actually kind of feel yourself sitting there for the first time ever to drive the car, you'll remember that you literally had to talk yourself through each one of those steps. Now, you probably didn't talk out loud. But if you did, it would have gone something like this. Yep, that's the right key. All right, keep those little teeth up. Right, okay, now stick it in the hole. Right, all right, now turn it on, hold it. Now give it a little gas, not too much gas. And you literally had to talk yourself through each one of those steps. The very first time you did that, those thoughts were extremely high in consciousness in the rider part of your brain. And then with repetition, and repetition alone, the repetition drove those thought processes lower and lower in your brain, requiring less and less conscious brain energy to get your body parts to do correct behavior. Once the repetition had drove those thoughts low enough, close enough to the horse, that's when the horse reached up and ate them. And after the horse ate those thoughts, you no longer had the conscious to think about it. Just seemed like you got in your car and did it. Now, haven't you ever gotten in your car, driven someplace that you usually go to, gotten there, gotten out of the car, and been stopped in the face with the awareness that you don't ever remember driving there? Who drove the car? Come on now, who drove the car? The horse drove the car. The horse does almost everything for us without us having to consciously think about it, except when we're learning something new. When we're learning something new, you gotta use your rider. Now let's say you get a great lateral job transfer with extra bucks, but it's over to England, but part of your job requires you to drive over there. Well, you know who is thoroughly conditioned to driving here, but you got a smart rider. So the rider gets over there, figures out what's saying, what's different, knows the information in there is correct, would even bet money that the information in there is correct. So your rider instructs your body to go get an English car. Unfortunately, who also has to come along now? The horse, right? So as soon as the horse gets in an English car and it looks around, it goes, yeah! This ain't right now! Now, would you ever be so stupid as to let the horse drive the car in England? Not long, you wouldn't. You'd get immediate corrective feedback. But let's suppose I was the passenger, you were driving, and I say, hey, you driving correctly? You say, hey, Tommy, look at the road, of course I am. I say, oh, excuse me. I understand that you intellectually understand you're driving correctly, but look in your guts now. How does it feel like you're driving? And if you look down there, you're going to tell me it feels like you're driving wrong, even though you intellectually understand you're driving right. Two very important points to remember forever now. Whenever you're... Yeah, see, some of the people aren't getting this. When I do this, they're supposed to say what? Horse. When I do this, they're supposed to say? Right, okay. So whenever your horse runs into something different than it's used to, it does not code it up as different. It codes it up as wrong. Second point, you can have one set of thoughts consciously going on in your rider that by definition you're actually aware of. At the exact same instant, you can have the opposite set of thoughts going on in your horse that you're probably not aware of. And you will always get the emotional reactions that are logical for the way your horse is talking to you, even though you're just consciously aware of thinking the opposite set of thoughts in your rider. And if you don't understand that, you can get absolutely thoroughly confused as to what emotions really mean. But we'll cover that later in the program. Okay? Let me ask you a question. How many have been to at least one talk, lecture, seminar, workshop, keynote address, or any of you watching, how many videotapes have you watched, right? At least, how many of you guys in here have actually at least been to one of those, not on technical types of trainings or videos or whatever, but on topics that would fall under professional development, personal growth, of those? How many have been to at least one in your life? Let me see. Come on. It looks like every single one of you. Okay, would you say it's generally true that when you've been to most of those, that the person up where I am, at least some of the time they're up there, seems to be going over some reasonably sensible content information based upon whatever the title of the talk is? Would you say that's generally true? Yes. Right. All right, well, go back in your past now. Find one of those talks that when you were at it, you remember liking it, you remember thinking, hey, this is some good stuff, boy. Hey, I'm going to use this stuff. Search your brain. Find one of those talks. Stands out in your mind. And let's suppose that particular day I was sitting next to you. And from watching you, talking to you, looked like you're pretty interested. Maybe even a little bit excited. But how are you going to use all this new great content information? Put it in your life? Come up with all this behavior change? Make your life easier, more effective, more productive, and happier? Well, this is what I've done. 2 weeks before that talk you're thinking about, I snuck in your life with a secret videotape crew. We documented every single one of your real-life behavior patterns for a full 2 weeks, 24 hours a day. Then I talked to you again at the talk. You told me how excited you were about all this behavior change you were going to come up with, put it in your life, make your life easier, more effective, more productive, and happier. And 2 weeks after the talk now, after the talk, videotape crew and I sneak back in your life again. We take another 2-week recording, every single one of your real-life behavior patterns for a full 2 weeks, 24 hours a day. Then I take the pre and the post videotapes, push them through the computer. I command the computer to compare and contrast these two sets of tapes, looking for any difference that exists between the two. You guys tell me, what's the difference between the two sets of tapes?
Nothing.
I hate that. That gives me a bad reputation, doesn't it? You see, when you go to those types of things and you just make one baby pass through your rider with the information, but your horse never, ever, ever let you come up with the behavior change, then you turned that day into a perk, didn't you? See, those of them that aren't laughing, that means they didn't get it. A perk is when the company gives you the day off. They continue to pay your salary, though. Yes. Right? They pay my fee for coming in here. And they know it won't do a damn bit of good! Because you won't change your behavior pattern. You see, well, we're going to be going over a very specific system that will allow you to take any emotional or behavioral reaction pattern that you have that you don't like, get rid of it, replace it with one that you like. But if you just intellectually understand what you're supposed to do in your rider, but your horse never, ever, ever lets you deliver those new behavior patterns when at the right
time,
with the right
face,
with the right tone.
We'll
all do that a lot, so let's do it. So if your horse never lets you deliver those new behavior patterns when at the right time, with the right face, with the right tone, then you've turned today into vacation day, haven't you? And I don't go around the country giving people vacation days. You're not getting out of here without learning exactly how to put this stuff into practice. As a matter of fact, by the time you get done with the program, you're going to be able to go back in your past, rescue every single bit of behavior change you wished you'd put in your life. You know, all those things that you know you should be doing, but you're not doing. And you're going to be able to protect every single dollar that your organization spends on your butt for training in the future. Because by the time you get out of here, you're going to know how to break who? The horse. Now go back to a number of months ago, right around the end of last December, when a certain part of your brain was engaging in mental foolishness called resolutions. Now, which part of your brain was engaging in the foolishness, the horse or the rider? The rider said, don't think your horse be deaf. Your horse was sitting down below listening, going, we'll see. And tell me, by what time of the afternoon of January 1 had you broken every single one of those? And who did that for you? The horse. Your horse's major job is to keep you the same as you were before you started this program until you die. And you best write this down in neon in your brain somewhere. Horses almost always win, don't they? Probably the thing that human beings are flat out universally the worst at is changing any of our established emotional and behavioral reaction patterns. Aren't we terrible at that? And now you're beginning to see why. Because who's so good at their job? The horse. And the horse has a trump card it plays every time to win. Remember, the way the horse talks to you causes how you feel. And everybody in this culture is brought up to believe that you're supposed to behave in line with how you feel. Yeah, well, we'll take that one away from it soon, too. Okay. Now, let's see if we can bend some horses' noses here. Let's try this one. Emotions mean absolutely nothing. So it's got a couple of bends. This one will get more. Watch. Never trust your feelings. See, that's heresy in the psychological community. People in my business the last 25 years been saying what? Trust your feelings, go with the flow, all that West Coast crap. One of the worst pieces of advice anybody could give you. If you trusted your feelings in England, who would be driving the car? The horse would be. Okay, now, let's review. Where do emotions come from? The horse, right? Depending on what the horse tells you, right? Now, so the first thing I said is what? Emotions mean absolutely nothing. Except there's a comma there. Comma. Except that a few milliseconds ago, your horse had to tell you something that would cause that particular emotion you're having. Okay, so let's do it again. Emotions mean absolutely nothing. That's it, good. Comma. Except that a few milliseconds ago, your horse had to tell you something that would cause that feeling, okay? So again, that's why we say never trust your feelings, because who creates them? The horse. And is the horse always right? No. Okay, now let's do the flower story. Remember when the female got the flowers? Okay, that was her event. Okay. Then who took over? Horse. Told her what it meant. On one hand it was, oh, this means he loves me. That thinking caused her to feel what? Happy. Okay, try to remember this now. Emotions are always three things. Number one, they're always real. Okay, so when she ends up feeling happy, is that emotion in her guts real? Yes. Yeah. Now, listen to the next two, they will sound funny. Not only are emotions always real, they're always logical and they're always correct. Now, don't those sound funny from what I've been saying? But now let me ask you the important question. What do they have to be logical and correct for? Right, say it louder. The horse. They have to be logical and correct for what the horse told her, because that's what caused her feeling happy. Now let's ask the big question. Does what the horse told her have to be logical and correct? No. It can be absolutely full of it, can it? And if somebody's horse tells them thoughts that are absolutely full of it, then they're going to end up with emotions that are also absolutely full of it. And then they're going to put behavior out there in the real world that's based on stuff that's absolutely full of it. That ain't a good way to go through life, big guy. So if the horse say, oh, this means he's up to something no good, that would cause her to feel suspicious. Okay. Now, is the suspiciousness feeling real? Yes. Sure. But it's caused by the horse. But you know that if many females, when they end up feeling suspicious, if we went up to them and we asked them, hey, listen, hey, tell me, what does that suspiciousness feeling mean? She would say, oh, well, it must mean that he's up to something no good. Do you see what she does? She uses the emotion to prove her thought processes are correct. You can't do that because what caused the emotion? The thought processes. So you can't backdoor logic and use them that way. Okay, so remember now, one more time. Emotions mean absolutely nothing. Okay. Except you want to watch out for what your horse is telling. So emotions are very useful. You want to be aware of them, pull them up, and say, okay, what did my horse tell me that would be causing this feeling, and see if what the horse told you makes sense. If it does, fine. Trust both the feelings and the thoughts. However, if you suspect that your horse has told you some horse stuff, then don't trust either the feeling or the horse stuff. Right. Okay. Now let me give you some homework. Did you hear what your horse just said? Homework? No, we don't do homework. No, damn. We haven't done homework since school. No, we ain't doing no homework. Right? If you don't do any homework, who's going to win? Right, and then I'm going to have to come back here and find you. Because if you don't do this stuff, what am I going to end up with? A bad reputation. Right? Okay, first thing I want you to do is listen for the way everybody talks. Not just you, not just other regular people, people on TV, people that write music, right, anywhere, newspaper stuff. For everybody will be saying that the external event causes the way they feel. Remember I did some before? She hurt my feelings. That situation makes me nervous. Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy, right? It always places the cause of somebody's feelings where? Outside of them on the event, whatever the event was. It's a situational happening or a personal treatment of some kind. Right. First thing, catch that, and then in your head, turn it around. So if we were going to talk to John about the sunshine, we'd say what? Come on, John. John is making John happy about the sunshine. That's the way we would correct it in our head. So if your buddy says to you, this one, your buddy says, you know, yesterday you hurt my feelings. Now, since she was here, you can tell her this. You say, well, listen, no, listen, honey, I only gave you the event. Your horse hurt your feelings. But see, if you tell somebody that wasn't here, they'll think there's something wrong with you. Okay, and the last thing I want you to do is make a mental note to start getting into a habit of whenever you suspect who's out, your horse out, and got you, this is over upset, and the hoof's right up here, stick a pen in it, get it to some paper, right? And let it write down what the horse is thinking and what you're feeling. Don't edit it, just write it down. We need that as a habit to start working on changing some of those things. Okay? All right. You're going to do your homework? All right. Okay, you have any questions? What's your horse say? Damn, don't open your mouth. You might say something stupid. Oh, jeez, don't be quiet. Let somebody else stick their hoof in their mouth. Right?
Is there any danger that this way of thinking can create a bunch of cold, unfeeling robot kind of people?
Oh, yeah, that's a very common horse reaction. Remember, what's your horse's job? Keep you to talk to you in ways to try to get you not to use this stuff. Right? And that sense, it is saying that the causation of how you feel is internally located where? In your horse. That by looking at it in this somewhat mechanical type of a way, and because you're just learning it, it seems somewhat mechanical. No, what's this? Oh my God, what did my horse say? And you have to keep track of all those things. And that the cause is not external, but it is internal. Many horses say, oh, if this system got too far going in the country, then we'd turn people into cold, uncaring robots. What would the world be like then? Well, this is how I answer that question. I've been doing this stuff for over 20 years. There probably is not another person on earth that does it any better than I do. Now, do I look like I've been turned into a cold, uncaring robot? Do I? No. Right? So that's usually the way I answer. If anybody was going to be turned into one, it would have been me. All right? And I guess there's a number of people on earth that will support the contention that that's not really true. Any other questions? One's there.
So are you saying that I can do anything to any person because I don't cause how that person ends up feeling?
You mean without having to feel guilty or
Yeah.
something? Well, of course you can do anything to anybody. That you always have the power to do that. The concern of the horse is that what happens to guilt in this system? You know, if I do something and she ends up making herself feel bad about it, the normal way of thinking about that is what? Oh, God, I did something terrible. I made her feel bad. All right? And therefore, if I feel guilty enough, then maybe I won't make so many other people feel so bad. Well, this takes that away from it in the sense that if she ends up feeling bad, who caused that? She did. More specifically in her who? Horse. Okay, now, what did I do? I gave her whatever the event was. You know, I forgot a birthday or whatever, right? And so then she got upset about that. I can't feel causatively responsible for how she ends up feeling because I don't cause it. But I am responsible for the event I did to her, okay? So in that sense, yes, that's what I'm saying. You can, but however, it would be stupid to do that because you and I both know, even though he ends up causing his feelings, we know the types of events we can give his horse to chew on that will get him upset. And if you want to go through the rest of your life, you know, I make 5 assumptions about what people want, is that you want to continue living reasonably long. You want to continue to be kind of relatively happy and pain-free versus, you know, other bad things happening to you. You want to have some friends. You want to have a specific set of friends within that global set of friends and get along with them well. And you want to have some avocation or vocation that you're kind of interested in and intrigued in. Well, if you don't pay attention to the way you're presenting events to other people, and you just blindly say, well, I don't care because I don't cause how they feel, ha ha ha, I can do anything I want, then you will soon have not many friends, right? Because their horses are brought up commonly thinking, and they're going to react pretty much the same ways. Okay, so we're not so much interested in that you don't cause other people. We're mostly interested that you cause yourself so that when you're over upset, you can learn how to teach yourself to get reasonably upset. Okay?
Let's join Tom now as he talks about the 4 irrational thinking styles.
Let me tell you a story. Want you to remember, teach it to your 2 buddies. Remember the work buddy and non-work buddy. I'm sure you've all had the primary or the secondary experience of being in the grocery store, in the checkout line. And all of a sudden, right in front of you, there's a 2-year-old wildly dusting the floor. Supposedly because his mommy won't buy him a candy bar. Well, we know it has nothing to do about the fact that mommy won't buy him the candy bar. It has everything to do about the fact of what the little kid's horse tells him it. No, remember now, come on. The function of the horse is to tell you what things mean. Another word for horse, it's an interpreter in here, is that as events come at you in life, this interpreter tells you what those events mean. Depending upon what that thing thinks it means causes how you feel, which then influences how you behave, right, or react behaviorally. So, we'll be the little kid's horse. Now you'll see most first thoughts on a horse's part are rather accurate. So the first thing the little kid's horse thinks is, damn, mommy won't buy me the candy bar. Right? But then the horse's job is to always what? Go on and interpret what things mean. Right. So here we go. I'll do most of it. You guys do the sentence completions. Say mommy won't buy me the candy bar, and that means that she doesn't love me. So if there's one person on earth that's supposed to be able to love you, it's your mama. Oh, and even your mommy can't care about you. That must mean you an unlovable slug. Nobody's ever going to be able to care about you. You won't have any friends. You won't be able to get married. You won't have kids yourself. You just have a terrible life in front of you. You aren't going to be able to stand that. You've got to get some proof right now that she cares about you, and the only way to do that is to make her buy you the candy bar on the floor every time. Now let's suppose when this little kid was 6 months old, he was my buddy. But I was also 6 months old, but I knew then what I know now, what I'm going to teach you today, taught it to him at 6 months. So now he's 2 years old again, back in the same grocery store, same mommy, same candy bar. But he's had a year and a half to practice his stuff. He's getting good at it. But he's brought a normal 2-year-old buddy with him. Don't know none of our stuff. So my buddy asks his mommy for the candy bar. The mommy say no. We check out my little kid's body. Yes, in fact, his knees are slightly bent. We check his face. He does seem a little bit frustrated and disappointed. But he is miles away from writhing on the floor. But you should see his normal little 2-year-old buddy over here standing next to him, tugging on his sleeve, going, hey, hey, say what's wrong with you? You're supposed to be on the floor. Don't you know what this means? And my buddy turns to his little buddy and says, what are you talking about? I know this don't mean she don't care about me. The only thing this really means is that she's cheap. Now, which is closer to the truth? She don't care about him, or she's cheap? She's cheap. Right. Now, she might have other reasons, right? It's too close to dinner. I'm worried about his teeth. He's hyperactive enough already! And as a group, we might be able to think a whole bunch of reasons. Let's say all the reasons we can think of are laying here right on her lap. And as a group, we go in there, we get the one we all think is the most likely reason she really say no. We get that one put up here at the list at number 1. Then we go get the second most likely reason we think she say no, put it at 2, 3, 4, all the way down. What's the absolute dead last reason we leave on her lap as to why we think she say no? She does love him, right. But I want you to see extremely powerful fact. It doesn't matter. If that little kid's horse gets away with telling him that this means that she don't love you, that lie will put him on the floor every time, won't it? And what you're going to see later is horses in and around our ages. And these types of emotional areas for us do not think one single bit better than that 2-year-old kid's horse that throws him on the floor. And that's why we're periodically such basket cases and blow ourselves out of the water and then exhibit those behavior patterns that after the fact we're not too pleased with. And you guys say it with me. And there's a whole bunch of people who live and work with us, come on, who are also not too pleased with the behavior we did. Now let me show you a couple of moves the horse pull on people. You ever been attacked by one of those loud, mean, nasty types of people? You know, boss or boss's boss gonna boom, blow you out of the water. You know, you did make a small mistake, but oh no. They, like you crippled the company or something. Well, I'm gonna be standing over there in a second. Now, when I'm over there, don't see me, see you. You know how you'd have your hair that day? You know, you, tie on, no tie on. See, now, when I'm over there, I'll be representing your horse. So here you are, hanging out at work. Boss's boss comes up and goes, boom! Blows you right out of the water. Well, instantaneously, your horse drop out the backside of your body. Stand up on its hind legs. Take its front legs and grab you by all. And I mean all of the garments around your waist. And go, where's your pants now, big guy? What are you busy in the next few moments doing? Going, yeah. And when you're busy trying to pull your emotional pants back up, in what position are you to be dealing with this big bad person in your face, huh? That's why they win every time. Now, some people deal all right with those, but they have trouble with the demeaning types. You know, the ones that treat you like you're good for nothing gopher. That's all you're good for. Go for this, go for that, go for the other thing. Listen, anybody going to do the thinking around here? It's me. And if I ever want to know your opinion, you just sit there and shut your face. I'll tell you what your opinion is. Now, you see, most people get pretty when they get treated like that. What your horse do under those conditions? Come up with its front hook like this, do this to your face in spades. Now, what's a symbol of? Out of shape. More specifically, it means you're taking things personally. What you might not know it means, every time the horse come up, just glance your nose, let alone smush it, release a physiological catch in your body. You know what that physiological catch releases? Huh? Adrenaline? No. Where's your pants go? Down. And in case you thought wearing dresses would be a protection, listen, I say the horse, grab all the garments. Internal garments and external garments. Don't care where the zipper is, in the front, in the back, or the side. And it don't care about ripping things. It just goes, Dee! Now you do have everything above the waist still covered. But absolutely nothing below the waist. See, now when the horse does that to you, and it does what we call emotionally freezes you, you go, ah! And when you've been emotionally frozen back like that, that forces you into very old behavior patterns. And then you put those very old behavior patterns out there for the world to see. But those are, in fact, the very behavior patterns that after the fact, you're not too pleased with. Come on, say it with me. And there's a whole bunch of people who live and work with us who are also not too pleased. So, we'll do the review. We'll see how much of you guys know the review. In order to get you major concerned about watching this program, which I hope is to dramatically improve your performance, you first have to change your, come on, damn it, we did that before, behavior. You have to change your, you first have to change your what? Behavior. In order to change your behavior, though, you have to keep your pants up. That is a signal for up, isn't it? They told me it was a signal for up, isn't it? In order to keep your pants up, you have to keep your hoof away from your nose. Which means you're not taking things. Which means you're not letting your horse tell you lies. What put the little kid on the grocery store for? Lies told him by his horse. Okay, open up the workbook to page 1. There at the top, you see the 4 irrational thinking styles. What's the first one? Yeah, that means you're on the right page. Okay. Second one's awfulizing, then I can't stand it-itis, and some form of condemning and damning. Now, in the middle of the paper, you got to write a word. What's the word? Come on, quick. In the middle of the paper, look. You got to write a word. Pants. Write it in there. Pants. What's the sentence say? The sentence that drops my pants. I'm going to tell you the sentence that whenever you see any human being's pants where? Down. This is the sentence that has put them down. Now, I can't say it as fast as the horse says it, but I can sure as hell say it the way the horse says it. The horse says this, that event, and that kind of describes what the event is, that event shouldn't have happened, and it's awful that it did. Oh, I can't stand it. And somebody around here needs to be condemned as rotten and worthless. Let's see, is it me? Is it you? Or is it the way the world works? That's the sentence. Now, remember that card question I asked you a little earlier? When I held the card up? Remember? What was the answer? Read right now. Without giving me a verbal answer now, show me. How fast? Horse, answer that question for you. Right, do it hard. Right. So how fast can the horse talk to you? So how fast can the horse tell you that sentence? So how fast can the horse drop your pants? The horse is real quick now. Okay, so just so your horse knows you said it at least once, we're going to read that sentence out loud. Okay? What's the first word in the sentence? That. Okay, ready? Let's go. Come on. That event, whatever it was, shouldn't have happened. It's awful that it did. I can't stand it. Somebody around here needs to be condemned and damned as rotten and worthless. Let's see. Is it me? Is it you? Or is it the way the world works? And how fast can the horse tell you that? Right. Now you should see the looks on some of your horses' faces. He says, damn, now he's having us read this junk out loud? I mean, I haven't done this since I was in 3rd grade. I mean, what's he trying to do with us? Tell your horse to sit on it, honey, and get used to it. All right, now down at the bottom of page 1, you see that in the box is the point of the little kid in the candy bar story, which is you and I have to suffer the logical consequences of the lies our horse tells us, okay? Now, I'm not going to cover the thinking styles in the natural order they occur because demandingness, the very first one that always occurs first, is very difficult to explain, and it tends to provoke horse out of the woodwork and get you. It's not a good way to start. So we will break you in with an easier one. That's the second one down, which is awfulizing. Or another big word for awfulizing is catastrophizing or making mountains out of, blowing things out of proportion. So flip to pages 2 and 3, mostly 2. Now remember, what thinking style are we trying to eliminate and get rid of? Awfulizing. Okay. Now to get rid of it, you have to generate the rational replacement concept. You have to be willing to make those 2 assumptions at the top. All right, the first assumption, say 100% equals all. That means that whenever we're talking about the term 100%, we mean we got all of whatever the hell it is we're talking about. All right, so if you're listening to some sports show and some dude, the announcer is saying some dude on the field's giving 110% effort, you got to know that's what? No, that's stupid. That is stupid. You can't give 110% effort. What's the most you can give? 100. What's the rule in here? Hard? No. Literal. Precise and? Thank you. Accurate. The reason human beings get over upset is they refuse to train their brain to think in hard, no, literal, precise, and accurate fashions when the events are coming at them. So we're going to try to not let your horse do that so much. Second assumption is negative equals what? Bad. Okay. If you are able to make those 2 assumptions, see the yes and a no right there? See it? Yeah. If you are able to make those 2 assumptions, circle a yes right now. Okay, if you're not able to make those 2 assumptions, circle the yes anyhow. Because you know the people in your row are going to be sneak peeking. See which one you circled. You don't want them to find out, do you? Okay, now underneath there, there's 13 things. We're going to make them up, or I'm going to tell them to you. Now, I am teaching you one thing in this program, and that is the system. One thing. I teach the system on stupid little dumb things that don't have much to do about anything, just to make it kind of fun to learn the system. Then once after you've learned the system, you can take that system and point it at work-related stuff, home-related stuff, anywhere in between stuff, little stuff, medium stuff, big stuff, doesn't matter. But it's most important that you learn the system. And it's the most easy to do that by having fun. All right. So number one there, I want you to think of somebody from work that your horse sometimes have a hard time with and put their first name next to number one. Somebody from work that your horse has a hard time with. Right. Now, if they're sitting next to you, make up a code name. Make up a code name. They're sitting next to you. Okay, now do the same thing for number two, but make it be a home person. It don't have to be out of your house, but somebody from your extended home life. You know, could be like the mother-in-law problem or something like that, whatever. Somebody from your home life. Put their first name. She's covering it up. That's okay, right? Number two. All right, now, number three, write down. Lock, keys, in car. Come on, lock, keys, in car. And as you're going to find out as soon as you get done with this program. Your keys are where? Locked. Okay? Okay, now, number four, write down long, slow-moving line. And we'll make it to the proverbial Friday problem at lunch at the bank, cashing your check for money for the weekend. 20 minutes, it's going to suck out of your lunch hour. That's how long that line is. Okay, number five, write down. Somebody cuts in the line. They cut. You see them. They cut. There. Oh, boy. Woo. You know how some people get when they cut. Oh, see people cut in front of you. Right. Now, jump down to number 11. In between, the numbers in between, I want you to devote half for issues at work related problem and half of the blank ones for home stuff. Right? But number 11 says frequent. We're going to make up a frequent one. Try to help the roads around wherever you live. Write this down. Others, poor driving behavior. Write that down as an example of a frequent thing. Others, poor, at number 11. Damn it, you're right up front. Right there. Others, poor driving behavior. You know, they steal your parking places. Then when they make eye contact with you, they laugh. Or they signal they're turning left, but boom, they turn right on you. Or you know, they think you're going too slow, they ram up right behind you. Just as they get a chance to pass you and they're even with you, they rip down their driver's side window, wave their entire arm out at you with most of the fingers bent down. You know, they do those types of things. Okay. Now number 12 says what? Worst ever. Now, if you've peeked at the bottom, you see that you can't put on this list negative events that have happened to your body physically. So you can't put down that when you were 6, playing at the train tracks, train came along, cut both your legs off. That is physical to your body. You can't put that on here. So search your brain, find the worst, don't get compulsive, one of the worst events that's ever happened to you that wasn't physical to your body. You know, like when your first hot boyfriend, girlfriend dumped your butt, and you remember 17 or whatever. Whatever, come on, write it down. And don't dwell on it, or you'll get upset. Just write it down quickly. What's the worst or one of the worst events that's ever happened to you? That's number 12. Now, jump over to page 3. And there it says the body scale. And at the top it say what? 100 is what? Worst. Now, don't be too quick to pick death, because this stuff is happening to your body. You know, there's much worse things than a quick death. Now, come on, be very creative. But what's 95? 4 limbs cut off. Pretty bad stuff, isn't it? Right? Okay, now, I want you to see as things go down, they get less worse. So what's a 90? 3. See, that's not so bad. At least you got an arm or a leg around, help you out. Right? And just keep reading down, you see they get less worse. Or most people would say they get less worse. Right? And you see, there's nothing at 50. It's because I've never come up with a good 50. Okay. But out in the margin, closest to page 2 now. Out in the margin closest. Don't write inside the box yet. Out in the margin closest to page 2. In and around the 50 level, make a note, say anything above 50 is permanent loss, anything below 50 is temporary loss. See, 55 is 3 toes what? Cut off. You ain't getting those back, big guy. Right? But 45 is 4 limbs broken. So you're going to, after you go through the pain, be in the cast, deal with the itching, right? Build your muscles back up. How's your body? Just as fine as it was before they were all broke. In other words, no long-term functioning. Keep reading down now. What's a 15? No, that's a big word. Come on, what's a 15? Right, 4 stitches, 15. What's a cut? 10. Bruise? 5. Okay, now a bump, little one, small bump, that's okay, and you bang. It's kind of like you're walking by and you bang your arm out. Not your funny bone, boy, that's worse than a 1. No, you just hit your elbow and bang it, okay? Just a little bang, that's a 1. Right? Okay, now, all I want you to see is things go up, they get worse, down, they get less worse. Now, about 18 years ago, I was doing this. Somebody said, Tom, well, if you can't make up a good 50, I got a good 50 for you. He said, how about being bald, Tom? I said, that don't go to 50. That don't go to 50. All right, now we're going to show you how to put things on the other side of the dotted line. Let's make one up. Let's say after the program today, you and I go do something physical that requires us to change clothes. What are you laughing at? Like play tennis or go swimming or something like that. And some people always have that other stuff on their mind. And then after we come back, we find out your purse or wallet's been ripped off. Right then I tell you, listen, I've never told you this before, but I have magic. I can get your purse or wallet back just like that. Want me to do it? Everybody always says yes. I say, well, before I'm willing to do it, you got to go high enough on this body scale to get me to do it. Now, you got a problem. You don't want to go too high, pay too much physical pain cost to get your purse or wallet back, but you don't want to go too low either, so I don't use my magic. So you just decide to do it hard? No. So put your pen or pencil on 15 now. Put it on 15. What's 15 again? 4 stitches. Not on your face, somewhere else. But it hurts like hell when you cut that bad, right? Then it bleeds. Here with the bleed. Then you got to get your butt to the emergency room where you're going to sit on it for about 3 hours. While they take care of everybody else. Then they're going to bring you in that little room, hurt you 6 times worse than the cut did with those damn Novocaine shots. Right? Then they sew you up. You got to take care of her for a week, go back, get stitches out, pay for whatever your medical coverage don't pay for. Got it? Okay. That's what's involved with the stitches. Okay, let's do the purse wallet. It's got the usual amount of money that's in there. Come on. What's the usual amount of money? Come on. What? Whatever. Got it? Usual amount of money. All right, now. Don't lose any more money because of the checks and the credit cards. But you got to call all the credit cards up, change them. You got to change the checking account. You got all that pain in the butt running around to do. You got to get your driver's license again, social security cards, ID cards, all that sentimental stuff. Now, there's never any right or wrong answers in this whole program. It's always just your own personal hard decision, right? Okay. Now, ask yourself this question. Don't answer out loud. Would I be willing to go through the stitches experience? So Tom would use his magic and my wallet back for me, or purse, that fast. So I wouldn't have to deal with the loss or the hassle factor. Just say to yourself, yes or no. If you say, yes, I take the stitches, then you go up and repeat the same question for a 20. What's a 20? Balance beam. If you don't know what that is, that's 4 weeks on crutches, all right? 3 of the weeks for 4 hours every night. The pain's so bad, make you cry solid for 4 hours. If you say, yep, I'll take that one, you keep going up. I guarantee you, there will be one up there where your horse say, I ain't getting that one. Right? But if your horse already said, to the stitches, then you go down to, yeah, what is it?
5 birds.
No. 15, 10. 10 comes after 15 down. Okay, now. Okay, another cut, but not on your face, somewhere else. Okay, if you say, to the cut, then you say, how about a bruise, whatever. Right now, with your pen, I want you to find the highest level. Highest level your horse would make you trade for. Come on. Get your pen on the highest level. What's the highest level? Are you deaf? I said, get your pen on the highest level. Okay, now, don't write the little blue lines, but follow them over. Just over the dotted line, at the right height now, and write lost, purse, or wallet. Whichever one's appropriate for you. That's it. I see you checking your neighbors. Sure, go ahead. Check your neighbors, see where they did it. All right? Now, can you check them, see if they're doing it right or wrong? No, why? Because there's no right or wrong. But you can sure as hell look over there, see if they wrote something down. See, there's some horses in here don't want to do this stuff. Right, we'll get them. We'll get them. All right, now. Okay. So where did you just rate it as? Something there, right? Well, remember, what thinking style we try and get rid of? Awfulizing. Did you forget? Awfulizing. Okay? And we're trying to replace it with the sensible concept. Remember what are the 2 assumptions of the system that we're trying to come up with? 100% equals? Negative equals? Bad. When you put those 2 assumptions, it tells you bad things can happen to you anywhere from 0.0001 1 degrees of badness up to a, they cannot go over 100. When the horse got somebody over upset, and it's telling them that this event that they're dealing with is awful, right? What it means is you're dealing with something that's over 100% bad. But can that be? No. But do the horse care? No. Remember, you and I end up feeling the way who talks to us? The horse. Whether the horse is telling us the truth or the lies. Okay, now from now on, you guys are never, ever supposed to say the word up for the entire rest of the program. You guys are always going to do the word up. Okay? So I'll do it again. You watch everybody in your row to make sure they do the word up. Okay? On 3. Ready? Let's go. Ready? Because the lies put your pants down, but the truth keeps them up. Don't say it. Just ready? Let's do it again. Come on. Right. You don't, remember, we do not say the word, we just do the word, okay? I can say the word, but you can't, right? Okay, that's how. Because the lies put your pants down, and the truth keeps them up. See? Do you see how? Now, why do I have you do these exercises? To show your rider that your horse don't get it. Right? I mean, hey, we're making up a rule. Damn, you don't say up. What do they say? Up. Right? On the 3rd time, they say up. Right? But you watch, I'll catch some more of you. Right? So remember, the rest of the whole program, you never said supposed to say out loud what? Up. You're always supposed to do up. Now, you guys will see each other various points throughout the rest of your life. Whenever you recognize anybody that's in this room, how do you say hi? See? How many people know that? Huh? How many people know that? Okay. And you do it too. Okay, now. Okay, where were we? We did what?
Lost person.
Right, now we're going to do the person from work. Remember the person from work? Okay. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go all the way in your past with that person, however long you might have worked. So get an idea. How many years, weeks, months, or months so you work with this person? Now, how long is that? Too long. Too long. Right? Too long, right? Okay, now, through my what? Magic. I'm going to go all the way in your past, and I'm going to have changed this person's behavior so this person would never, ever have given you any hard-to-deal-with behavior at all. How would they have been? Come on. Just the way you've always wanted them to be. Okay, you got what I'm giving you?
Yeah.
Okay, now, since I'm in a good mood, I'm going to go all the way out into your future, however long that might be with this person you're thinking about, and I will give you a guarantee right now. This person will never be able to give you any hard-to-deal-with behavior. Come on, how will they be? Come on, say, just the way you want them to be. Okay, now, everybody clear what I'm giving you? Okay, any 75s in the room to get it? What's a 75? What's a 75? No. Okay, anybody going to go that high? No. Oh, really? Really? All right, now, but if I could really do that, okay, if I could go back, change, get present, all in the future, if I could really make them be just the way, how high would you go? Put a 1 over on the other side of the dot line. How high? What's the highest point you'd be go? Check a 1 over here somewhere. Put a 1. 1, I mean 1's from page number 1 over here on page 2. Got it? Okay? Okay, put a 1. All right, now since that was all, that's it. Check the people next to you. All right? Okay, now. Since that was all time, then put a, next to the 1, put a dash and a baby capital A. So it reads 1 dash A. That stands for all time. Got it? Okay. See, now I ain't going to do 1A anymore. I'll do 1M, 1 month. Okay? Starting when? No, damn it, you're here. Starting tomorrow. Starting tomorrow. How many day month? How many day?
28.
No, damn it, take 31. I'm giving the month. Right? How many hours a day?
24.
Right, not 8. The sucker might call you at home. Take 8, right? Take 24. Right. How are they during the whole month? How are they? Just the way. On the 32nd day, what happens to them though? They go back to what?
They were.
That don't say normal. Right. Go back the way they were. Right? They ain't normal. No. Okay. Now, so how high would you go for 1-M? Right? 1-M over on the other side of the dotted line now for 1 month. 1 whole month of protection because I ain't going to do 1A anymore. I'll do 1M. Now 1M better be lower than 1A, right? Or there's something severely wrong with your logic, right? Okay, now 1W, 1W, 1W. What's it for? Right, 1 week, whole week. When it start? Tomorrow. When it start? Tomorrow. Whole 7 days, 168 hours. Ready? Go. 1W. Come on, 1W over there. Some of you running out of room already, right? That's okay. Squeeze it in. Because we got 2 more to do. 1D, 1D, 1D. What is it?
1 day.
1 day, okay? Any day you want. You pick the day. You got it? 1D. How high? How high did you really go to get it be just the way you want it to? Right? Okay, 1 more. And you all better do this one. Because you know I'm going to have people check. See if you're doing it. Now, it's 1 dash I. It's per incident. Per incident. Remember, that's how we really deal with these people. What, on a per incident basis. Now, sometimes, don't do it yet. Sometimes these people give you little ones to deal with, little bad behaviors, right? Sometimes medium bad behaviors. Sometimes big bad behaviors. Pick a medium-sized one. Get a typical medium-sized one in your head right now. How high would you go to just get rid of 1 medium-sized one? That's a what? Per incident. Okay, put it on 1 dash I. 1 dash, squeeze it in. You're under 0 already, honey. Squeeze it in. Okay, now do you think if we went around the room and averaged everybody's 1 dash I's that they might be in and around the... What the hell number is this? Who said 0? Come on. Right? 1. They might be in and around the 1. Right? Okay, let's just arbitrarily define a 1 upsetness to be this big. Okay, about the size of a $50 or so. So this much negative energy ramming around in your guts. Feel it down there? Say yes. Yes. Okay. This is how much your rider says it makes sense for you to be upset with when they give you one of these medium-sized things to deal with. Got it? Okay, though, now, show me, though, with your hands and arms, how upset your horse gets you every time they give you these things to deal with. Get him up! Get your arms up. Show me how upset your horse. Get him up, damn it. All right, now, keep him up there. Shrink out the 1. Shrink out the 1. Shrink it down by taking that 1 out. Okay, now that you've got up is the amount your horse make you pay every damn time this person give you something to deal with. And I want you to get good and damn mad at that fact. And I want you to start looking at your emotional reactions the same damn way you look at when you spend real dollar bills, because these things in here are now called emotional dollar bills that who makes you pay?
Of course.
Right. And I want you to be able to run your emotional life the same way you run your financial life. That I would bet we got a weird group in here. How about kind of like you try to run your emotional life? You know, or your financial life. Now, most people, when they try to run their financial life, they, like if you were going to purchase a good, an item, or a service, most people, after they got it, like to look back on the price they paid and be able to tell themselves, I think I paid a reasonable, fair price for that item or that service. Don't most people theoretically at least like to run their financial life like that? Well, after you get this system under control, you'll be able to run your emotional life like that, and that these same big bad events will happen to you. Instead of your horse getting you over upset, you'll just get reasonably upset, and then you'll deliver reasonable behavior. And after the event's over, and after you've reacted to it, you'll be able to look back at the way you responded emotionally and the way you responded behaviorally and tell yourself, I think I paid a reasonable, fair price for handling that event. And that would be like the way you would like to run your life, isn't it? Okay, but let's do some more. The way we did the home person, you can do the work person the same way. Remember the person we had at work and the home, right? So we did the home person. Now you can do the work person the same way. They're usually, those two people are a little bit different, okay? So, but you do them the same way. A to B, C, W, all those things. Got it? Get down to what most important one. Incident. Okay. Don't do it now. Just you can do it for what? Homework. Okay. But now we'll do the keys in the car. After the program, where are you? Outside your car. I say, well, where's your keys? You're in the car, right? How high you going to get them out? Because you know you go high enough, you're going high enough, where are they? Where are they? How'd they get there? Magic, right? Any 15s in the room to get the keys? No? Well, but you go a little bit. Now, no cheating now. You can't have a spare set in your purse. You can't have put that cute little magnetic thing under the bumper. No, you got to come back, call somebody. You got to come back, get AAA, get a coat hanger. You know, you got to deal with it. But you could avoid dealing with it with my magic, right? So how high are you going? Put a 3 over there. Just put a 3 over on the other side of the dotted line. On page 3, right here. 3, put a 3. How high are you going? Okay, now, Friday, long, slow moving line. Where are you? At the bank. How long is the line? 20 minutes. You go high enough, where do I put you? No, damn it, right at the teller. Right at the teller. You know, sometimes you get a slow teller. No, this one's fast, right? How many minutes did you say value your lunch hour? 20 minutes, right? How high are you going? You know how upset people get when they get in those, when they're stuck in the back of those lines, right? Woo! They see the big who come out. Big who come out. Right? Big ears come out, you're frothing at the mouth. I mean, woo! Boy, they get upset, don't they? Right. But how high would you really go to get to the front? Or, I mean, to the teller? You go a little bit, right? Right. Now somebody cuts in the line. Somebody cuts. You see them, they cut right in front. All right? Now, if you go high enough, what do I do to the person that cut? Not kill him. Damn. See? That's your horse. Your horse wants me to kill him. Because what's your horse say? What's your horse say when it sees a person cut? It goes that sentence, remember? That person shouldn't have cut in the line. And it's awful that they did. I can't stand it. And somebody around here needs to be condemned. The damned is rotten and worthless. But say, is it me? Is it you? It's not me. I'm in my spot. It's you. You're the one that cut. Out comes the Clydesdale. She wants me to kill him. But tell me, when she gets that upset, right now, where's the person that cut still? In front of the line. Right. But where's her pants? Down. Right. What lesson you learn? Dropping your pants in the bank line don't make the person uncut. But it do make you interesting to be with. Now, hopefully, you guys are finding this ain't that difficult a concept. So we're going to write the name of the concept at the very top of page 3. You got about a ½ inch of room there. We're going to write the name. Remember, what thinking style are we trying to get rid of? Awfulizing. Awfulizing. And this is what we're replacing it with. This is the name of the sensible one. Write down the. That's the. Big back there, guys. The. Johnny Carson scale. Okay, come on. The Johnny Carson scale. And as soon as you get that written, you check everybody in your row. You see anybody that didn't bother to write it down, you go to them, you go, nee, nee, because I know there's horses in the room, baby. Your horse say to you, you don't have to write that stupid stuff down. Only whips automatically listen to the instructor, so prove you're not a wimp by not writing it down. Well, you tell your horse to sit on it and write it down anyhow. Now get in your head, we'll be doing sit on it practice various points throughout the day. Now I know some people feel a little bit uncomfortable kneeing their neighbors when they catch them not doing the stuff. So we're going to practice. But don't worry, we'll practice on me, all right? So at the count of 3 now, I want a straight arm above the shoulder, straight arm point like this. Big finger sticking out, right? None of this wimp pointing out like this. Straight arm point like this, right in my nose. Big, mean rider face on your face, and a loud nee out of you on 3, okay? On 3, ready? 1. Now you know if you don't do this, it's going to be extremely obvious to everybody around you. And anybody see you don't do this, what are they going to do to you? Then I have the whole room give you a room knee, honey. Right? All right, now don't listen to your horse, just make yourself do this, okay? On 3. Straight arm point right on my nose, big finger right like this. Mean rider face out of your face, loud out of you on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. How'd you like everybody in the room doing that to you? Now, whenever I get you to do sit on it practice, I'll always give you a behavioral warning. Whenever you see me get like this, you know it's coming. Now, I'll do the whole thing, so you know how it goes? Then I'll do it again. I'll do my half, and I'll let you guys do your half. But the whole thing goes like this. I'll get like this. And then I'll say, what do you tell your horse? And you guys are going to say, sit on it! You are not going to say, sit on it. And as you're screaming, sit on it as loud as you can, out of this ear, you listen to this one. Okay. Out of this ear, you listen to that one. You don't hear enough volume coming out of either one of those two, you turn on that one and go, nee! And then I'll have the whole room me her. All right. I'll do the first part, my part. You guys scare the rest of the people in the building. Okay, let's go. What do you tell your horse? Sit on it! Yeah! Anybody in here not want to get more out of life than you're currently getting? In order to get more out of life than you're currently getting, you got to learn to talk back to who? The horse. Right, because the horse's job is to keep letting you get the same as you're getting now until you die. And you better not let that happen. Because if you do, I'm coming to your funeral and I'm ripping your butt right out of the casket. Why? Because I'll have ended up with a bad reputation. Okay. So some of you may be wondering why we call this the Carson scale. Come on, we'll show you. I'll be Carson, you guys be the audience. He come out and do his monologue. Okay, ready, go. He'd do something like this. He'd go, whew, boy, it was hot in California today. How hot was it? And this scale is designed to get you to ask yourself, how bad is it, or was it, or will it be? And to have some hard nose scale. Push your horse's butt in the corner and make it think sensibly. And you can't get much more hard nose than negative physiological events happening to your body. Make your horse go in the corner and put things in perspective. So from now on, anytime any negative event happens to you, what's the first question your rider asks? How bad is it? And come up with these are numbers, damn it. Come up with a number, okay? All right. Okay, so remember, that's the rule. Every time now, anything negative, little, big, mean, you're going to come up with a number that's based on the scale. Okay. Let me give you some homework, things to do. I want you to listen for the words awful. The other favorite words of the horse are terrible, horrible, horrendous, catastrophic. Those types of words. Those types of words to the horse mean that something's over 100% bad. But can that be? No. Right. So you listen for them. People say them all the time. All right? And then whatever they're saying, horrible or awful, you take that event for you and put it on the and come up with a number. Right. It's a way to practice, whether it's on TV at night, in music, right? See something written in the paper, oh, it was awful. Now let's say you're at lunch tomorrow. Two little old ladies sitting next to you. And it's really bad out. And you hear one of them say, oh, isn't it awful out today? Well, of course, as soon as you hear what? Awful. Right, yeah, perk up and you say, wait a minute. Let's see how bad it is for me today. And you say to yourself, well, damn, it's only a 3. Right. And then you get up, you walk over to the little old lady who said it, and you go, smack! Awful? Nothing on earth's awful, honey. It's only about a... Think she'd be wondering about you? Yes. Now, of course, you don't really go hit the old lady, right? But you use other people's wordage, saying those words, to, and then say what? If it was me, come on. Yeah. How bad is it? Or you're having trouble because you don't know which tense I'm in, do you? Right? Yeah. So and then you come up with that. But that's what I want you to practice. Okay. Any questions about this segment or ones you've thought of from before?
I'd like to know, is the horse always wrong?
Is the horse always wrong? The horse thinks it's always right, but no, the horse is not always wrong. What's 2 plus 2? 4. Who answered that?
My horse.
Right. Was it wrong? No. What's the red light mean? Now, did you all know that when you were born? No. So what's the definition of horse now? Anything that's automatic, habitual, happens. Okay? If everything in the horse was wrong, we wouldn't be here. We'd kill ourselves quickly. Right? But, so most all of the stuff in the horse, meaning automatic, is gorgeous. There are a few thinking styles that are very pervasive, that goes across lots of things, that color our emotional reactions. One of which is awfulizing, then the other ones we mentioned before we haven't got to yet are demandingness, and I can't stand it. A couple more we'll mention later with the self-esteem, tunnel vision, and dichotomous thinking, and those types of things. But no, by means, the horse not always wrong. When we suspect it's wrong, though, is when your backside a little breezy, honey. Because where's your pants then? Yeah, and who put them there? Your horse, and probably, remember, when you're just upset, are your pants down? No, it's when you're over upset is when your pants down. And I'll guarantee you, every time your pants are down, then your horse has told you a lie or something that was wrong or whatever. Okay, but so I don't know what the split is. If all the information in the horse was, 100%, maybe in terms of just the stuff that's irrational might be 2%. Okay, all the other 98% is fine, but the 2% is pervasive. Okay, that's the problem. Okay, other questions? Drop.
With this approach, what happens to the intuition?
That's intuition is another name usually for who? The horse. Okay, so in other words, you get something and it seems like you didn't really consciously think about what is it. It just came to me, right? It's kind of like, who's whispering in your ear? Who? The horse. And you hear it. You don't hear it consciously. It just kind of springs on you. And that's a very good corollary question with is the horse always wrong? Well, my answer is the same. The intuition comes from the horse. In other words, you have probably crunched it around in the rider a little bit. You know the proverbial thing, you're in the shower and some new idea hits you or whatever. Well, you probably have crunched it around in your rider before and you stopped. And taking a break, or just as you're dropping off to sleep, you get a lot of those types of things. And that's what I call the good horse, is going, and then it goes, oh, damn! And then you say, where did that come from? And it seems like intuition. But the same rule applies, okay? The horse can whisper lies as well as it can whisper the truth, okay? So you always want to be at least concerned about the intuition and take the thoughts that are underneath and bring them, don't say up! Bring them, and then use your rider to see if you think the thoughts that have been brought make sense, okay? All right, and then that's how you test out intuition. If you can make some factual arguments as to it seems probable or likely or a good bet or something like that, fine, then trust the intuition. Remember before, never trust your feelings? That's a spin-off of never trust your intuition. Always though what? Check it out with the rider. Okay, next question? Any more?
Okay, can you train the horse? I mean, can you change it? Or is it just something that you always have to you always have to have the rider watch?
No, good question. Otherwise, you wouldn't want to be here, right? if you couldn't really change the horse, if you just had to watch it all the time, right? No, you can learn a process to put you through, to actually change the horse. Now, let me give you a good example you can all remember. Let's go back to when we were real little, you and me buddies, right? We get together December 24th. You're not Jewish, are you? Okay, good. It wouldn't work with you if he was Jewish. Okay, so, and what are we thinking about the December 24th evening? Who?
December
Shannon?
25th, the morning.
Yeah, who's you coming? Santa's coming. And when we were tiny, did we really believe in that? Yeah, right. So who first found out about it? Rider. Through repetition, the horse went, damn, this is a good thing. God brings you stuff, right? All you got to do is be kind of good, and you get, right? And so it was a severely held belief, right? Okay, then as we got a little older, other kids started saying, ha ha, You still, all right, you still believe in Santa, right, you know. And we started asking our parents, well, is there real? And they'd say, what? Oh, yes. I mean, and so we would go through this confusion period, right? And then we get a little older, we can think in terms of time and space because our brain gets a little more, we say, how's that son of a gun get to every damn house in the world? We start thinking about those practices, but they say, oh no, he really does. You go to the chimney and say, that son of a bitch fat. Right? You start thinking about things like that, and they don't make sense to you, right? Then the rider starts thinking, well, damn, yeah, I don't really think there is. Okay, next year. But it comes early December. Horse say what? Write the letter anyhow. Write the letter. Tell him what you want, just in case he's there. See, so the horse hasn't been converted yet. And through another couple of years or so, finally the rider pulls enough power statements or enough sense or whatever, and finally the horse converts over and says, okay, there's no Santa. And it doesn't make you feel like there is one. It kind of goes through that process, all right? The other process it can go through is just imagine this little area up here is your kitchen. And the doorway is right here. Let's make it right here by my little table, right? You walk in the doorway, and over here on her lap, part of the kitchen, is where you've always had the toaster, okay? For like 10 years. I tell you, go home tonight, take the toaster here, move it over, kitty corner, over in this part of the kitchen, okay? Now, who knows you did that? The rider. Okay, now, if you don't cheat in the morning, all right, like put signs across the doorway or whatever, and you come in barefoot, okay, and without you knowing it, we put yellow paint on that you step in. So we get your footprints, we see yellow footprints go over, right over here, and we go, damn, hold up. See? So the horse was looking for the old toaster spot, right, and then the rider went, what? Damn, Tom had us move it. So then the yellow footprints turn and go over here, right? Okay, now, second day, you're going to go in the kitchen. We put green paint on the floor. You step in. So we see green paint don't get quite as far as the yellow paint, right? Until who becomes awake? And say, damn, it's over. And then we see them. And then the next day, blue paint. We go. Right. And then purple paint. And then pretty soon we see solid mixed footprints go over here, right? Who's that now? The new horse. But who had to do all that work? The rider. It's that type of a process you have to go through, okay?
Thank you for watching Volume 1 of Self-Discipline and Emotional Control with Dr. Tom Miller. This program continues on Volume 2 as Tom talks about the power of the concept. Welcome to Volume 2 of Self-Discipline and Emotional Control with Dr. Tom Miller. Let's join Tom now as he discusses the power of the concept.
Now we're going to cover two more of the irrational thinking styles. First one covers real easy. Doesn't take long to get it out of the way. It's called I can't stand it, it-itis. Now, you probably said that once and twice in your lifetime, huh? Oh, I just can't stand it. You've heard other people say that stuff too, right? Well, when a horse got somebody over upset, and it's telling them that they can't stand something, well, what it means is that if it continues for another 30 seconds, you will cease to exist. Now, have you ever died from something your horse told you couldn't stand? That's not a hard question. There are some people out there that have run into something that they couldn't stand. Where are those people? Jail. No, they're in the ground, honey. They're in the ground. Jail. Now, there is going to be one thing that you and I are also not going to be able to stand. And that's going to be the thing that puts us in the ground with them. Right? And believe me, you and I will know that one thing when it's happening to us. Up until then, you and I are living proof that we have stood everything so far during our existence, aren't we? And we're going to be able to stand everything that happens to us in the future, except the one thing that puts us in the ground. So what's the truth? You and I can stand it. Right. So, if you open up the workbook to page 4, and read the little indented part at the top on page 4. That's it. And sign it. And put the date in there. And are there any notaries here? If we had time, we'd go around and notarize these suckers now. Okay. So we'll combine now the first piece of truth with the second piece of truth. So whenever anything negative happens to you, what's the first question you ask? How, come on, bad is it? Come up with a number. Let's say it's a 5, okay? And then we're going to add, and I can stand and then we repeat whatever that number is. In this case, it's a 5. Let's do it. Ready? I say, how bad is it? You say it's a 5. I say, come on. And I can stand a 5. Oh, you don't say it's a 5. Come on. Say it like who means it? Right? Come on. And I can stand a 5. Right. Yeah. Drive it home, Debbie. If you learn one thing in the program, learn this. Horse pay attention to one thing and one thing only. The horse pay attention to power. And you got to learn to generate the type of power you see up here in your rider, or else your horse will take you to your grave exactly the way you are right now. And then I'm going to have to come to your funeral and pull your butt out of the casket. Right. Okay. So now, screw on your... Right. Yeah, because we're going out after the real tough stuff now. We're going to go out after that first thinking style that I told you was real difficult to explain, tend to provoke who? Horse. Out of the woodwork and get you? Fans. Right. It's called demandingness. If somebody came down, gave me real magic, and said, Tom, I want you to fix one thing that gets the greatest reduction of human overreactivity, but you can only fix one thing. The thing that I would fix, beyond any question of a doubt, is the ability to have horses not be able to engage in demandingness. It is that obnoxious as a thinking style. It is the major reason our pants go down. Now what's going to happen is I'm going to take 6 words that you're all used to, take the meaning of those words and turn those meanings around exactly opposite or backwards. And of course that's very different. And whenever the horse run into different, it codes it up to mean wrong. And horse come up and go and get you bent. So I'm warning ahead of time now. This stuff, your horse, that I'm going to go over, your horse will make you feel like what I'm telling you is wrong. Try to remember this forever. Just because something feels wrong, does it mean that it is wrong? No. That's right. Don't hesitate on that one. Right? Were you feeling like you were doing it wrong in England when you were driving correctly? Yes. Why? Because who thought you were doing it wrong? Right. And who controls how you feel? And does a horse always tell the truth? No. Does a horse always get things straight? No. It gets things bent. Right. But it makes you feel the way you do. So remember, just because you're going to feel wrong doesn't mean that what I'm teaching you is wrong. Okay. The power in the concept comes from the word must. Must in the dictionary has a very hard, come on, nosed. That guy does it good. Come on, hard, let's try it again. Hard, nosed definition. Right. The dictionary definition is must is imperative requirement. So down near the bottom of page 4, right, must, then equal signs. Just write equal signs, must, equal signs. Then write imperative requirement. And spelling don't count today? Hey, big guy, don't worry, spelling don't count. Just anything close to looking like imperative requirement, it's fine. Just get close. Now, imperative requirements, too big what? Words, and we don't like Big words. So without using must again, what little words would normal people like you and me use to mean imperative requirement? Go. I said without using must again. Damn it, come on. What? Have to? All right. In a real life have to, is there any choice? Does everybody agree on that? There's absolutely no choice in a have to. True statement? Got it? Okay, then write equal sign after requirement. Another equal sign. Then write have to. You're going to put a slash. No choice. So the running definition is must equals imperative requirement equals have to, no choice. Now this stuff about demandingness is very simple, okay? Either when we look at your use of the word must, whatever you're referring to, saying it's a must, if it lives, don't say that! If it lives to the definition, then you're just using it correctly. I.e., we look at it and we say, see, hey, ooh, hey, is that a have to, no choice? And if everybody here says, yeah, it is, then we say, fine, you're just using the word must correctly. But if we catch you using the word must, we ask the question, listen, is that really a have to, no choice? And we have to say, then that's when you're engaging in demandingness, okay? In other words, either it lives to the definition or it doesn't. When it doesn't be real life, have to, no choice, and you're using the word must, then what are you doing? You're engaging in demandingness, okay? So either use it correctly or you end up engaging in demandingness. Now we're going to make up and go over the three tenses, past, present, future tense. Future tense is the easiest to get rid of, so somebody make me up a sentence in the future tense with the word must in it, all right? And we'll test it out. Go. See what your horse is saying. Oh, don't you open your mouth. Oh, you might not say something in the future tense. Yeah, come on, make one up.
We must stay here.
We must stay here. Okay, write that down near the bottom of page 4. Now, underneath that, write test question and then a colon. Okay? I'm going to give you the general test question to test for all musts. Okay? Test question, colon, then put down, is it possible not to? Don't answer it, just write it down. Right? Is it possible not to? Okay? And then go dot, dot, dot. Don't write dot, dot, dot. Just go do she write down D-O-T, D-O-T, D-O-T. Some people take things literally. Now, after the third dot, write down my most favorite non-English word. Now, watch some of your horses cringe, but write it down anyhow. Irregardless. I said, write down my most favorite non-English word. I know it's not a real word. Write it down anyhow. Irregardless, then keep going, of the consequences. Okay, so that's the test question. Is it possible not to, dot, 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 irregardless of the consequences? So, is it possible for you to not stay here, irregardless of the consequences of not staying here? Is it possible? Come on, that ain't a tough question. Is it possible? Sure. So what type of must is that? It's a demanding, because why? It doesn't live? Damn! That's right, it doesn't live to the definition. Okay, now, so, keep going. Let's find another one in the future tense. Somebody make a different one in the future tense. We'll test it out.
We must pay tax.
We must pay taxes. Don't bother to write that down, but test it out on the test question. Is it possible to not pay taxes irregardless of the consequences of not paying taxes? Is it possible?
Yes.
So what type of must is that? Right, okay. Keep going, see if you can find one.
We must die.
Hey, baby! Does that one live to the definition? Yes. Right. Now, usually before that one I must continue to breathe. You test that sucker. Can your butt die by not breathing? No. Prove it. You pass up, honey, but you could arrange it, you know? We could pay those guys, put a big concrete thing on your feet, push your butt off the bridge and you go under the water, how long you breathing down there when you forget to pass out or whatever? Right? Okay. But, so dying is one because that lives up to the definition, right? Now, another one that I know of, we all go up on the roof of this building, get in a long line, we hold hands, we scoochie to the edge, and on the count of 3, we jump, then we must go. Down. Meaning laws of? Gravity. Or general laws of? No, damn it. Physics. Physics, right. That's presuming we're on Earth, right? But for the rest of the program, we'll presume we're on Earth. Right? Yeah. So there aren't really many in the future tense, okay? So the rule is just be careful when you go out in the future tense with must. Make sure it's 100% likelihood thing that you're talking about. Okay. Now, be careful, because this is where we're going to go what? Change them around when we get to the present and the past tense. This is where your horse ain't going to like what I do. So listen very carefully in the next couple of seconds, because what I'm doing now is I'm setting you up. And after I set you up, I've got you. Okay, now here's the setup. Nothing in this world happens by magic. Things only happen because a set of little steps were done in front of some event that make this event happen. It's the only way events happen. All right? Sometimes they're called little necessary prerequisite events. Okay, happen. Now, there's lots of things that happen. Horses can't understand what the little prerequisites are. You know, and a horse can't stand things they can't understand. So they have to have a special word for it, and it's called magic. Magic. Is there any magic? No. Horses believe in it, though. Right. But let's say you and I knew how to put rockets on the moon. We got in a time machine. We went back 500 years. Back then, you and I put rockets on the moon 500 years ago. What would most of the people who lived back then think we did it by? Magic. But did we? No, we put this part together, boom, it went to the moon. Now, current day, magic might be like ESP. Let's say 150 years from now, we find out 25% of the population can in fact do ESP. And we all understand exactly how they do it. 150 years from now, we'd be thinking ESP is magic? Huh? No. But nowadays, what? We don't even know they can do it yet. Okay, now. I'm going to make up 3 events. O, X, and Y. Event O, what tense are we in now? Present tense. Present. Right. And what's the key about the present tense? It keeps going on moment to moment to moment. It's still a present tense, right? Got it, okay. Event O is I'll be standing over here with my back of my legs against my little table. Okay, that's event what? O. X is she and I will be holding hands. That's what? X. And event Y is I'll be over here looking down at DOT. Okay? Everybody got those events? All right. Now what tense are we in? Present. Okay, now any of those 3 events happening right now? No. Okay, watch. I'm going to make what happen? Oh, right, here we go. What was that? Nothing. Guess it was a, damn it, it was a step. Or one little prerequisite event. Now the next one would be what? Another? In the same, but do I have to do them in the same direction? No, I could come over, sit on her lap. I could come and tweak her nose, right? I could play with her pencil. I could go past, fake about, but then come back and do jumps or what. It don't matter what set of behavior I do, as long as I do a set of behavior that gets me where? Here. Yeah, and that's what we're calling an event. Oh, okay, so what tense are we in? Right, so what is happening right now? Oh, anybody have trouble with that? Good, all right. So therefore we can say it is an imperative requirement that right now, in this present moment, what be happening? Right, is that true? Sure, say yes. Good, okay. Now, since it's an imperative requirement, therefore we can say, must be happening. True statement? Why? Because it is. Hey, this stuff is easy now. Come on. It's happening. Now, what are we going to make happen? She and me? Yes. Okay, so what is happening now? Yes. So what must be happening? Yes. Okay, stay in the present tense. What 2 things must not be happening? Right, okay, now watch. I'm going to make what happen? Now what must be happening? And what 2 things must not be? Okay, let's do the past tense. What can we say about, in the past tense, about OX and Y? OX and Y must have happened. Why? Because they did. Right? Just keep this in your head now. This stuff is straightforward and simple. Must just describes the R word. Come on. L-la-T. All right? If something was a reality in the past, then it must have happened or been. If something is a reality in the present, then it must be. And you be damn careful when you go out into the future tense to make sure you're talking about something that has 100% likelihood of happening. Okay? Got it? It's straightforward and simple. Okay, so where must you be right now? Why? Right. You did all the necessary prerequisites to get your butt back in this chair from break, right? It's the only reason you must be here. Now look around you. Is there somebody not in their chair now that was in their chair earlier near you? Is there? Point to a chair. Where? Point. Right there? Okay, right back there. All right. Now, where must that person be right now? Here. Slap anybody that said here, damn it. Come on. What's the rule? Must describes the R word, right? Reality. Is she here? Is it a she or he? She. Okay. Is she here now? No. Is she? No. So where must she be? So where else? Where must she not be? Here. See? You're getting it. Okay, now. Let's say you wake up in the morning, got a 3/4 pound zit on the end of your nose. Right? Look right in the mirror, see that zit there. Ready? Let's go. Ready? Come on. That zit must be there. Right? Why? Because it is. Can you imagine looking in the mirror and saying out loud to yourself, damn, that zit must be there. See, a horse don't like this now. Okay. Remember when the Iranians took the American hostage? Remember? Let me try it again. Remember when the Iranians took the American hostage? Yes. Must that have happened? Yes. Why? Because it did. Can you imagine meeting somebody after the program and saying, listen, you remember when the Iranians took the American hostage? They say yes. You say, let me tell you something. That must have happened. See your horse said, this ain't right. There's something wrong with this stuff. All right. Must have 5 partners. First partner we've already used in the definition, that's have to. Where do you have to be now? Here. Here. Why? Because you are. How long do you have to stay? No! Not till it's over with, until whenever your butt leaves. Right? Right. Okay. Now, do you have to be here mentally? No, you're damn right you don't have to be here mentally. Some of you aren't. Right? But as long as your butt's in the chair, then you must be here physically. Okay. Now. Second partner ain't always correct English, but do we care? No. Why? It's got to. All right? So if let's say you're looking at the zit in the morning mirror, you say, what? Come on. The zit has got to be there. Why? Because it is. All right. Now, next partner, some horses have trouble with. That's need to. Okay. Remember, these all mean the same thing. They describe what word? The R word. What? Reality. Okay, but watch. Need to. Watch. This. What's this? Erase. Okay, so what's this? No, it's not a wall, damn it. Come on. What's this? So what's this? Board. Blackboard. Blackboard. Damn. Picture. Okay, now watch. Okay, watch this. Ready? Here we go. Okay, move it out here. Where's your eraser now? On the floor. Okay, so where must it be? On the floor. So where's it got to be? On the floor. So where's it have to be? On the floor. So where's it need to be? On the floor. Who said on the chalk tray? Is anybody next to you said on the chalk tray? Slap them. It needs to be wherever it is. And right now the sucker's on the floor. So it needs to be on the floor. What's your horse say? It needs to be on the chalk tray. Damn it! Horse always add, damn it, for emphasis. That's what they made chalk trays for, damn it! Okay. And the next two are the hardest for the horse to swallow. They're ought to and should. The most frequent way your horse engages in demanding. Let's get you over upset. Drop your pants, get you to behave the way you usually do, is through misusing the word should or shouldn't. In other words, of all the partners, should, ought, must, have to, got to, need to, the one that's used most frequently by the is should or shouldn't. So from now on, we'll use that. Remember, should also just describes the are word. Okay? So, where should that person be right now that was back there earlier? Where should they be? Here. No, damn, slap her. Slap her! Who said here? She did. Well, you slap her then. Where should that person be? Wherever they are. Right. See, yours say, No, that person should be here. My butt's still here listening to this drivel. You know, that person's butt should be here having to listen to this drivel too. Right. You wake up in the morning, look at the zit, and you say, what? That zit should be there. What's your heart say? Should the Iranians have taken Americans hostage? Who said no? Slapped him. I heard her say, slap her. Should they have taken them hostage? Yes. Why? Because they did. See, your horse say, See, your horse don't like this. I told you your horse wouldn't like this. Right. Now, if you look down the middle of the page, those are those 6 words right there. Should, ought, must, have to, got to, need to. Those are the demanding forms of them. Now, underneath that, you see a heading called non-demanding. Now, to get non-demanding, who do you got to use? Right. And how do you do it? Well, you say, well, see, here's an assumption, or you posit something, and you use and deduce, and come up with an answer that when most people see that answer, they go, damn, that seems to make sense. That's what? Writer doing what type of thinking? Non-demanding. Okay, so there's 4 columns in the page there of non-demanding choices. First word in first column is what? Wishing. That's where your hearts come from with the zit. Is it reasonable for you to wish the zit wasn't there? Reasonable? Huh? Yes. Right. Okay. How could you prove that? Non-demanding. You say, hey, I've been around the world to know enough of what I think most people's faces look like. And most people don't got this 3/4 pound zit on the end of their nose, and therefore I wish I didn't either. Right. So if you just wake up and go, damn, I wish the zit wasn't there, would you be a little bit upset? Sure. But what type? Reasonably. Because you're just still thinking at a what? Non-demanding level. But what a horse always do, it always starts out with a non-demanding choice like wish, and it goes and turns it into demanding by misusing mostly what word? Should or shouldn't or the other ones. So it will go, well, since you wish the zit wasn't there. So far, we're all right, right? Therefore, then, it shouldn't be there. Damn it! Come on! So you, damn it! Come on, if you could do that in public, you can say, damn it in public. Right. You gotta say it like the horse say it, right? I'm gonna try it. Ready? Damn it! Okay, now. What's the next column of words? Practicality, sensibility, it would be better if. That's where your horse coming from with the eraser. Is it sensible for me to keep it on the floor? No. What type of thinking is that? What type of thinking is that? Non-demanding. Sometimes kind of silly. Keep it on the floor. But the horse say what? Since it's kind of stupid to keep the eraser on the floor, therefore then it should be on the chalk tray. Damn it! That's what they made them for. Then the third column is the power column. That's ethics, morals, values. But there's a fourth one in that column I threw in for fun. What's that one? Etiquette. Let's say I come over your house after the program, find your bestest coffee table, I clear it off, then I stand right on it. No? Come on, say it with me. Tom should be standing on my... Come on! Say it with me. Come on. Tom should be standing on my coffee table. Why? Because he is. What's your heart say? No. Get off! Damn it! But the ethics one, that's where your heart's having the problem with the question I asked you about the Iranians. Let me ask you a different question. Do you think it was ethical, at least according to our set ethics, that the Iranians took the Americans hostage? Do you think so? No. Do you hear me asking anybody face to be slapped? No. Why? Because ethics is a what? Non-demanding. How do we know? We say, here, see, here's our written set of ethics. See, here's what they did. Now use and deduce, right? So, here they did. This behavior don't go with this ethics, so therefore we can say this behavior be unethical. And most people look at that and go, damn, that makes sense. What type of thinking that? Non-demanding. But then the horse go what? Well, since it wasn't ethical, therefore then they shouldn't have done it. Damn it! Right. Now, when a horse raised it up and turned it into demandingness, what happened to our pants? They drop. You see, now, dropping our pants about the Iranians taking America hostage, make them release them? No, but it did make us interesting to be with as a country, didn't it? And the fourth one there I just threw in because it's potentially dangerous in the future. That's probably an expect. Okay? You and I be waiting on the corner for the bus. I say to you, the bus should be, here to should. You say, the bus should be here in about 5 minutes. What do I really mean? Probably expect. But do I say probably expect? No, I say should. But am I upset? No, not. Yeah. Right, let 10 minutes go by. Damn bus should have been here 5 minutes ago. Now am I upset? Yes. And where's my pants? Down. Right. Now, what lesson you learn? Dropping your pants in the in the bus line don't make the bus come. No. Now you see, if you could drop your pants in the bus line and that made the bus come, it would still be theoretically stupid, but it would be practical as hell. Especially if it was cold out. But when it is theoretically stupid and the bus don't give a damn where your pants are, then it's what? Pretty stupid. Right. Okay. Now, there's a sentence near the bottom of the page. You got to write another word in. What's that word? Same word wrote in before. Okay? Write it in. And then read it out loud. Everybody, what's the first word of the sentence you wrote the pants? The? Where it go? Go ahead. Go. The sentence that keeps my pants up. Don't say up! Come on, do it again. Let's read it again, but do the right thing. Harry? The sentence that keeps my pants. Okay. And there it is underneath it. Let's do the general sentence. We'll read it out loud. You ready? Ready, let's go. That event, whatever it was, should have happened, and it's about, okay, read that next thing as blank. Ready? And it's about blank percent bad, and I can stand a blank. Okay? We'll do some in particular. Remember the work person? Okay, ready? We'll call him the work person, and we'll institute it in this sentence. Okay, ready? The work person should be exactly the way they are. Right? His horse said. Yes. See, he writers say, tell him yes. His horse say, oh no, it's not right. Right? They shouldn't be like that. Right? Oh boy. Right? Why should the work person be the way they are? Because that's the way they are. Have you ever dropped your pants about them? Sure. Has that fixed them yet, honey? No, but they love to see you in that condition, don't they? Okay, now remember the per incident degree of badness we thought the work person was about a 1. Remember that from the earlier? Okay, ready? Let's go. The work person. Should. That's it. Whenever I pause like that, you know damn well the next word you're supposed to say is should. Now, come on. The work person should be exactly the way they are. And it's about 1% bad, and I can stand a 1. Remember, you drive home the last number? Okay, now, let's do the home person. Remember, home person is usually a little worse than the work person. Ready? So let's do the home person before. Ready? Okay. The home person should be exactly the way they are, and it's about 4% 3% bad, and I can stand a 4. Right. Remember, you're outside your car. Where are the keys? Right. Okay, remember that one? All right, now, what's going to happen to you is you're going to go out there. Your rider's got some new information, but we haven't changed your horse a bit. And your horse still going to see these events first. Okay? Tell you what that means according to the horse. Get you and drop you and get you to behave the way you usually do. Right. And then just hopefully, just a little while goes by, a few seconds, minute. And many people, when they run into that thing that happens a few minutes later, they go, you know, some people call that the V8 feeling. You know, hey, you could have had a V8. Right? Now, some people don't actually hit themselves, but, you know, they still get it in their head. That means who just became awake? The rider. Okay, now, every time you get that, all right, what happens now? So I want you to find this little round, bumpy bone on your shoulder. Right? Okay, now, just a little round, bumpy bone. Okay, it's right around there. Now, just imagine. It's a little round personhole cover.
Okay.
You know, non-sexist seminar, this is a personhole cover. All right. And every time you get, or you hit it pops that little personhole cover off. Now, you never knew this before, but there's like a 4-inch cavity right inside your shoulder. It's been there forever, about that big around. I can be invisible and get that little, and I've been riding around in there. And then whenever you get you have to turn around, that pops that little personal cover off. Up on a little elevator, come who? Me. Right. I'd be 4 inches high. My mouth would be right at your ear. Right. So every time you get you got to turn and go, hi, Tom. Okay, let's practice that. Ready, go. Hi, Tom. Right? And then I say, honey, I say, is this your car? You say. Yeah. I say, where are the keys? You say. I say, where should the keys be? You say. No, damn it! No, damn it! Stop it! Right? I say, is the car locked? You say. Yeah. I say, should the car be locked? You say. Yes. See, she finally got it. Okay, ready? Come on, let's go. Ready? Come on. I should have locked my keys in the car. Why? Because you did. How high do you want to go to get them out? Tell me a number. 3. Okay, ready? Come on. I should have locked my keys in the car. And it's about 3% bad, and I can stand a 3. Okay, now where are you at the bank on Friday? In the back of the line, right? Who sees the line first? Horse. Horse go. And you go, what? I say, how long should this line be? You say, exactly as long as it is. I say, how fast should it be moving? You say, exactly as fast as it is. Okay, ready? We walk in, we go, we say, what? Come on. I say, this line should be exactly as long as it is. How high do you want to go to get to the front? Give me a number. 3. Oh, 3 again? Okay, ready? And it's about 3% bad, and I can stand up 3. Okay, now. Somebody cuts in the line. Way up in front, remember? Let's go, ready. Oh, that person should have just cut in the line, and it's about 3% bad, and I can stand up. Right? Now, let's do one. Let's say you go to lunch sometime in the future, so you order a steak sandwich. Rare, but it come burnt. Right? Now, of course, who see it burnt first? Right. And the next thing you're aware of after this is you go, what? But the next thing you consciously think is, thank God there's a long tablecloth. Why? Right! Your pants are tight. So he knows. Now, but then you remember to do what? Our sentence. Okay, ready? Come on. My steak sandwich should be first. And it's about 3% bad, and I can stand a 3. Okay, now, where am I when this is happening? No. On your shoulder, right? And I say, oh, your rider just think it's a 3, huh? Tell me, what your horse want to do to the waitress? See, your horse want to say, honey, come here, turn around and steak sandwich with the plate. We say, no, we don't do that. I say, listen, big guy. Either you call the waitress over and give her a
3.
On your,
Face.
in your,
Tone.
in your
Words.
words, or in your body position.
Body position.
Eye contact, right? Those types of things, right? Either you give her the 3, or I'm going to give you a 3. Remember, a 1 was a small bump, but a 5 was a bruise, so a 3 is somewhere in the middle between the small bump and the bruise. Got it? You got your choices? Either you call the waitress over, give her the firm but fair 3, or I'm going to hit you hard enough to give you a 3 right now. Which one you take every time?
She's going to come
Come on, give me the waitress. Give me the waitress. Don't you be hit my butt. No, don't you hit my butt. So what's that show you? Getting 3% upset. Remember, we defined a 1 upset and it's this big, so maybe let's say 3 is this upset. Running around your guts is more than enough negative energy running around there. Get your butt off center and take care of business. You don't have to be over upset. Matter of fact, you get over upset, you're likely to get reverted into one of 2 very counterproductive behavior patterns. About 20% of the people will call the waitress over. When she gets in range, the front leg of your horse's hoof will reach out, grab her by the top of the forehead, and rip her face off! About 20% of the people do that. The other 80% of us, can't stand being considered one of those people who rip people's faces off. You know what we call those people who do that, don't you? Something holes. Oh no, boy, we can't be none of those something holes types of people. So, oh no, we get flipped into the exact opposite behavior pattern called wimping out. We don't dare say nothing to the waitress because we're afraid if we do, our horse's front hoof will sneak out, grab her by the top of the forehead, and rip her face off, and then we'll be one of those whole people. Oh no, boy, we can't do that. So we have to shut up to the waitress. But do we shut up to the people we're eating lunch with? Oh no, boy, we can whine and moan. How about that stuff, right? But no, we don't talk to the waitress. Of course, we soon run out of people to have lunch with because we ain't too much fun to be with at lunch. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to find places to use this sentence. Okay, let's do the sentence again so you know it. That event, whatever it was, should have happened. Okay, stop. What thinking style did we just prevent the horse from engaging in there? Demandingness, by using shouldn't in the demanding way. Okay, now let's keep going. And it's about blank percent bad. What thinking style did we get rid of there? Remember, awfulizing is coding things up as awful or nothing. And the Carson scale says, wait, there's somewhere between .00 and it can't go anywhere either on above or okay. Got it? So we just got rid of awful. Keep going next. And I can stand a blank. What did we get rid of there? I can't stand it. Okay? So we got rid of so far the 3 of the 4 total irrational thinking styles. Okay? That we're going to cover. So every time you want to find an event to do that. You want to practice so far. Listen for what trigger words when you're out in the normal population? Remember, are you normal anywhere? Nope. Nope. Abnormal. But in the good meaning of the word abnormal. So you're going to listen for what? Terribles, horribles, awfuls. You're going to listen for people talking in external situation caused the way I feel. Okay, you're going to fix those in your head. And now you're going to listen for what words? Should, ought, must. Have to, got to, need to. And every time you hear anybody use those words, how will they be using out there? Yeah, they'll be, or wrongly. They'll be using them wrongly, or in the exact right, they'll be using them in a demanding way. So when you hear somebody say, the bus should be here in about 5 minutes, what do? Slap them! And say, no, damn it, you mean probably. No, you don't do that, but you, okay? But you just use that saying as what? This person said should. Now, should this person have said should? Yes. What? Who said no? That's right, somebody back there. Let's do it again. Did this person say should?
Yes.
And did they use it wrongly?
Yes.
And so should they have said should wrongly?
Yes.
Right, why? Because they did. did, right? See, when you catch your horse saying, oh no, you shouldn't have done that, what's it saying generally? You shouldn't make any mistakes. Do you have any data, honey, that that one ain't true? Right? So that you want to do what we call, this is called acceptance versus approval. Acceptance means you acknowledge the R word. What's the R word? Reality. But you don't have to approve of it. They're two different words now. Most people use acceptance and approval to mean the same thing, so that if they can't approve of something, which just means they don't like it, then they also can't accept it if it means the same thing. So you want to separate the two and say, do I like it? Basically, that's what you're finding out from seeing if it goes on the Carson scale. And you're getting a degree of not liking it. And then by using should correctly, you're saying you accept the reality, whether it's a past, whether it's a present, or whether it's going to be 100% likely in future. All right? Okay. Questions?
Tom, is what you're saying then we shouldn't say should?
Yeah, well, some people think that that's what I'm saying. Again, should somebody say should wrongly if they do? Yes. Why? Because they did. Right? Again, that's your horse. When it hears it, it's trying to say, well, listen, now that you understand the correct use of this stuff, then you should always use it the way it makes sense to use it. And that, of course, is what? That's demandingness. Where is it written that you have to do things the way you think it makes sense to do them? Where's that written? In your horse. But do that make it true? No, you got plenty of data of that, don't you, big guy? So you just want to work on catching the horse. So you will use should wrongly. You can bet on it. And then, but after a few seconds go by, your rider say, you just did it. You just used it wrong. And you say, thanks. Now I can redo it in my head. If I was going to do it again, I would have said, and then you're going to choose from a non-demanding word. I wish does it wasn't there. It's not too sensible to keep the eraser on the floor. Right? It's not very ethical. And the bus will probably me. Whatever. Okay. Any more questions? Yep, over here.
Isn't this stuff just semantics?
Yeah, that's a big what? Horse go like this. Tom's just doing semantics. He's just playing word games. What's the anybody know the definition of semantics? It's the meaning of words. And the meaning of the words that your horse chooses to tell you what things mean by causes how you feel, which then influences how you behave. So this stuff is not just semantics, folks. It's all semantics. The meaning of words is absolutely critical as to how you live the rest of your life. Whether you let your horse take you to your grave or not. And you remember what happened to her.
Let's join Tom now as he explains how self-esteem affects self-discipline and emotional control.
And now we'll cover the most powerful concept on earth. Remember, we covered the most powerful thinking style the last time in a segment. That was demandingness. But a concept is bigger than a thinking style. All right? And we'll also cover that fourth thinking style when we take care of this system, and that'll cover the condemning and the damning part that we haven't covered yet. But the system of self-esteem is probably the most pervasive, powerful concept on earth. It's the beacon by which most horses guide human beings through life. And everybody talks about self-esteem for exactly what it is, and that is, it's a measurement. You know, people will say, oh, so-and-so's got a very high sense of self-esteem. So-and-so's got a very low. Somebody feels real good about themselves. Somebody feels real bad about it. It's a measurement. And that's the way, it's your horse's attempt to measure your value or your worthwhileness as a person. Horse always look at two variables to measure your value on. Looks at how much incoming demonstrations of love, approval, and respectful treatment you get in from other human beings. Second variable looks at how much competency behavior you put out. What it does is it gets out, looks out there, finds you what you think your normative peer group level is, and then it tries to compare your performances of whether you stack up well or not so well against them. Those are the two variables. It's very important to have a detailed, step-by-step understanding as to exactly how every horse in the world uses the system of self-esteem and, of course, mostly misuses it. And that's why the system does not work very well for most all of us, most all of the time. And so we're going to fix the tricks that the horse uses so that it does work well for us most of the time. But it does require me to be a little bit didactic, and that's kind of different than I've been so far. And, most horses don't like it too much when I get didactic. So get ready now. What do you tell your horse? Sit down! Right? And just tolerate the didacticness. Big black, big guy, it just won't last that long. So open up the workbook to page 5. And at the top figure of page 5, just imagine that that's this room we're in. And at the middle of the wall over there's a big pulley attached there. Another big pulley attached on that side of the wall. Big wire cable, this big, kind of strung tightly between the two pulleys, just like the old-fashioned clotheslines, right. Basically just divides the room into 2 parts. Okay? Now, look at the bottom. See, I've identified the room, side of the room closest to me is the people side, away from me is the behavior and trait side. Flip to page 6. We're slowly building the system. Now you see, and I put 5 strands of wire on each side of the room. Visualize those, the same height as the clothesline. Single strands of wire about the size of a pipe cleaner. All right, just stretch tightly across the room. So each one of the wires there on your page from the clothesline closest to me represents a person in your life somewhere. Each one of the ones away from the clothesline from me represents a behavior or a trait that you do. Behaviors of the specific things like how fast you run to 100, how well you cook eggs. Boy Scout oath, the trait. Brave, thrifty, clean, reverent, those types of things. But it's basically your behavior patterns. Flip to page 7. Whipping through this system, huh? Now you see the difference is I've lettered the people wires and I've numbered the behavior and trait wires and I put little outside the letters and numbers. Everybody see those? Say yes. Yes. Okay, now we're going to pick person A. Remember, the letter wires are what type? The lettered ones are people, big guy, people. We're going to pick person A. Most people reserve person A to be their significant other. Your husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife. So put the first name of your significant other on the little outside of wire A. Now, if your horse got you embarrassed about it because you don't got one in your life right now, make one up. The people in your row are going to be sneak peeking, see if you got a significant other. How they going to know you just made it up? Fool them. They can't know. Okay. Now, if you look down at the bottom of page 7, you see there's a line down there. Just imagine that line's a wire. Now, see the little funny thing on the right-hand side? That's a miniaturized beer keg. Or some people like to call it a barrel. It's got a hole drilled right through the middle, so it can up and down in the room. You know how that would go? Okay. Without whining, flip to page 8. Rewrite in person A's name again on the little for person A. Okay. Person A. Okay. Now we're going to keep working off of the top figure, page 8. I put the bottom figure there just to give you an idea of where different keg positions would go. But I'm going to show you how to draw on a person keg now. But if you look at the top figure of page 8, you see I've added numbers across the top and the bottom. So that wall over there represents what? 0. This wall? In the middle? 50. Okay, it's just a gauge. Right? But this is how you figure out how to draw on the little silly kegs. Ask this question. Remember, we're talking about person A now. You say, how much do I think person A, whoever person A is, how much do I think they usually, generally, typically, on the average, how much do I think they care about me? You got it? You're just going to make an educated guess. You're going to Guess inside their body and get an idea of the amount of caring in them towards you. Got it? Now, don't do it based on how much they demonstrate how much you care. Right? Because, hey, lots of you wrote down males' names there, right? We're not brought up to know how to demonstrate that we care so much. Hey, but that don't mean we don't love you now. So get an idea. How much do you think we actually care about you? You know, like if you died, would we notice? You know, so if you think, oh, person A loves my butt a lot, where do you draw in the little keg? 100. Yeah, or at least high in the 90s. If you think, well, you know, where you draw? 50. And if you think they hate your guts? 0. Now, don't get compulsive about this. Just get close. Draw a little stupid keg somewhere on wire A to indicate the answer to that question about how much do you think your person A cares about you, if you could guess at a measurement. Draw a little silly keg. Your horse will make you feel silly about drawing in these kegs. Tell it to sit on it. Just do it in here. All right, now we're going to pick person B. Person B will become symbolic in about 10 minutes. I want you to think of all the friends you got that are the same sex as you. Okay? Get all the friends you got the same sex as you. Get them over here in a pile. No, I mean, excuse me. Get them in a group. Right. Now, reach in there, pull out your best same-sex friend. You got them? All right, now put their first name on wire B. Remember, we're on the top of page 8. Wire B, best friend, same sex. Then ask the same question. How much do I think person B usually cares about me? Typically, averagely, if I had to guess. Drawing a silly little keg for person B. Now, the last time I was doing this, right at this point in time, somebody I said, Tom, can I use my dog? I said, damn. Sure, use your dog. If you run out of people, yeah, there's nothing wrong with using your dog. All right? So pick 3 more people or your dog and put their first names on C, D, E, right? And just repeat the same question. How much do I think person C, whoever that is, cares about me? Generally, typically, average. Now, as soon as you're pretty sure you got how to do this, don't bother drawing in any more kegs. Right? Just do it until you got the idea. All right? All right, now we're going to do the behaviors and traits. Remember, we're still on top figure page 8. They're the numbered ones, right? Right, okay. So I want you to think of characteristics that you believe human beings in general believe that it's important for human beings to have and exhibit them. And name me one of those characteristics out loud. Go. Love. Loving, like loving. Okay, number 1, put loving. 2, I heard compassionate back there, so put 2, compassionate. Sensitive. Okay, number 3, sensitive. 2 more. Trusting. I knew we'd get to the Boy Scouts. Trusting. And 1 more. Sense of humor. Okay, sense of humor, number 5. Now, all of those you can do this way, except for sense of humor. That's the last one. Don't do sense of humor there. So, what was the first one? Oh, no, let's do the second one. Was compassionate? Okay. But all the first 4 you can do this way. Here's 100 times where you thought it was reasonable for you to have behaved in a compassionate manner. Can you see him? Say yes. Yes. Okay, now ask yourself, out of these 100, about how many times did you behave in a compassionate way? Okay, now the number that pops in your head, that's the number where you're drawing the stupid little K. Okay, the reason you do it this way is there's numerous times when you're behaving well in some other area of your life that force you not to behave too well in the compassionate. You don't want to count those times when you're behaving well in some other area falsely against your compassionate score or your loving score or whatever. So that's why you do it the 100 times way. Okay? So you can do those first 4 that way. Now remember, these things now have nothing to do with the people you just had down on the other side. This is just you honestly assessing whose performance? Your performance on these identified variables, okay? And just try to be hard-nosed and honest about it and make an educated guess. Then after you get the first 4 done, I'll show you how to do sense of humor. Or if somebody had said, like, sexy or intelligent or those types. You can't do those 100 times way. It don't make sense to say, here's 100 times sexy. Don't make sense. Right? Okay. You do the ones that don't make sense the 100 times way, you do them what's called percentile rank scores. Okay, now remember when we were in 3rd grade, took the Iowa test, we got scores back out of English, math, Well, let's say you and I got a 95 on the math. What that means is you and I are better at math than 95% of all the other 3rd graders in the country, but 5% of the kids in the country are better at math than we are. That's a what? Percentile rank score. So you do the ones that don't make sense the 100 times way, percentile rank, like sense of humor. So you're going to look out there, get an idea what you think the normative level of sense of humor is, and call that a 50, right? And then you're going to say, okay, well, do I think I'm noticeably above? Like if you thought you were noticeably above on sense of humor, what number would you give yourself? 65. And you think a little bit below, you give your, yeah, and if you think you're a stone, okay. But right now, just make an educated guess and do your sense of humor one. Okay? Do your sense of humor one. Okay? Now, some people are more important to you than others, true statement, and some behaviors or traits you place more importance on in your life than others. Right? Okay? Right. The way we indicate that in the system is by shading in the little kegs. So if you peek at the top of page 9, you see there's various different shading factors there. Now look at person A's keg on top of page 9. Okay? How fully shaded is it? Full. So that must mean, remember, shading equals what word? Importance. So that must mean person A is a very important person. Okay, look at B. Now, B is not your best buddy that I had. I just pulled this out of the book for an example for you. But B is how shaded? Half. So that might be like a friend. Not a good friend. Person C might be like a good friend. How shaded person C? Yeah. And what's D? How fully shaded D? Touch. Just a touch. Just a touch. Just a touch. Touch. It may be somebody down the hall you maybe know their first name. They're not too important. But they're not totally unimportant either. Right? And then you do the same thing with the behaviors and traits. Again, some behaviors and traits you would place a lot of importance on. Okay, so you got how you did a shading factor? Okay, now flip back to page 8, top figure, and draw in the little kegs. And don't worry about going outside the lines. Oh, you already did it. How did you do it already? You cheated. He peeked. Right? Okay, just color in the kegs. Now, I only had you pick how many people? 5, and you probably aren't stupid, right? Say yes. Right? Yes. So therefore, you probably picked 5 pretty important people. But if I had you pick 500 people, by the time we got out to the 200s, 300s, we'd see less what out there? Shading factor. Yeah, less important, but therefore then less shading. Okay? Same thing, I only had you pick 5 behaviors and traits, but if we had picked 500, by the time we get out there, we'd see less shading factor. Okay? Okay, once you got the idea, you can stop shading. Okay? Now, here's how you read a room. Okay, so let's say we're in her room, we're on the floor, and up here's the what? The wires, right? Okay, and so we can look at, if we're looking at a people wire, right? We can see from where she's got the keg drawn from 0 to 100 tells us what? How much she thinks this person is important. No, damn it, you got it right. Cares, okay? Shading equals importance, okay? How much this person cares. Now, then, when we, oh, you can answer this one. When we look in the keg and see how much shading factor, that tells us how much importance she's placing on that in her life. Got it? Same thing with the behavior and trait. We can look at a behavior trait one. We say, oh, she thinks she does factor X at a 85 level. From what? Where the keg is. And then we can see how much is placed on it by how fully shaded it is. Yeah, colored is another word. Right, that's fine. Okay. Now, see how you read a room? Say yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, now if you look at the top figure, page 9, at what people call the bottom of the clothesline, it's really just the underneath side. At about the 85 mark, everybody see a little funny thing hanging down there? Okay, just imagine that's a little hook welded to the clothesline right there. Now follow the end of the hook. You see a little round sucker? Okay, that's a very important entity called yourself. Meaning when your horse uses the words I, me, myself, it's referring to that thing that's all of you called you. That's that entity. So where a person's hook is in their room answers a very important question, doesn't it? Like this person here. What's this mean this person think about themselves? Pretty highly. Why? Because it's at 85, right? 85 is pretty high. If somebody's hook's at 50, what's that mean they think? And if it's at 0? Right. How do a person decide where their hook goes? Who do it for them? And a horse been doing it since it was a pony. Now I know little horses are not called ponies. It's just fun to call them ponies. Right? And remember, the horse part elephant and part jack. Yes. Right. Very stubborn, and don't forget, easy. But how do a horse do it on a moment-to-moment basis? Because that's basically how we live our lives, right? On a moment-to-moment basis. Well, to get an idea, flash peek on the top of page 10, read the equation, and then come back to page 9. There it is, see? TV plus dt equals t. Okay? Okay, boom! Come back to page 9. I just said flash peek, remember? Okay. Let's say, person A, your person A, gets into being upset with you. Okay? And they demonstrate it to you. What's going to happen to person A's keg? Yeah, what's that mean? Go what? Down. Look at the bottom figure page. All right. Where'd person A's keg go? Huh? Down to 45. Right? But look around. Did any of the other kegs change their position? Nope. They're pretty much in the same place. But person A's keg definitely went down. Now who got person A upset? Person A. That's right. If I'd asked you that before this program, what would you have said? Oh, I did! What's the worst you ever done to person A? Give them an event to deal with. That's it. You know, like big guy, you forgot the birthday, you didn't remember the anniversary, you know those types. What are those? Those are just events that you give other people to deal. Who takes over there? Oh, over there. Who? Horse. Yeah, person A's horse tells them what it means. If person A's horse tells them a bunch of lies, it's going to get person A over. If person A's horse tells them a bunch of reasonable truths, it's going to get them reasonably upset. Are you responsible for how person A's horse talks to them? No. No, so you are never, ever causatively responsible for how any other human being on this earth ends up feeling or behaving. But you are totally responsible for the events you give them to deal with. Because those events are your what?
Behavior.
That's your behavior. You have to be responsible for your behavior. Now this doesn't mean we don't know the types of events to give person A to get their horse out big time. Right? But still, the horse has to tell them that. Okay, but now, where did person A's keg go? Down. Down. See? So you take a peek. What number did it go to? About 45? Yeah. Right. Did any of the other kegs change their position? No. All right. Now, the first thinking style, the initials were TV. Let me show you what happens. Some big tough event come up in your face, like this one. Person A get upset. First thing your horse do this, it goes. And for those of you in the back, I do have a slight crack in my hands. It allows me to see the one thing that's smack dab in the middle of my face. Now, what are these things? Blinders. No! Not hands, damn it, they're hooves! Hooves! Functioning as what? Functioning as, not as hands, damn it, come on. Functioning as what? Blinders. Right. Hands. All right? Okay, what thinking style this be forcing me to engage in? Tunnel vision. Not television now, come on. Tunnel vision. Now let's get an idea how stupid tunnel vision is. Okay? Sitting out in front of every human being is this invisible sphere. It's really that another representation of that little round sucker on the hook. Okay? But about the nice size of a beach ball. Okay? You feel this one? Ooh, this is a nice one. Right? Bit invisible. Now that is what her self is. Right? Sits out visible. Invisible. Let's get an idea how many variables are in there. Remember the two variable those sources? Incoming demonstrations of love, approval, acceptance from other people, and outgoing competency behaviors. Okay, so let's get an idea of the number. So I want you to think of the number of people you've known, from a little bit known to kind of well known, to extremely well known, to very, very well known, to very good friends, immediate family members, since you were born. You know, kids you went to kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, high school, college, business acquaintances, friends and family. What's the number? Big, large. Where are all those people? Where they should be. Yeah, where they should be. She travels with me. But each one of those people is a what? In your room? A wire with a keg on it. Okay? So there's that many people wires up there. Okay? Now I'm going to tell you how many behaviors and traits wires are on that side of the room. It's about 500,000. So look over there. Right? A lot of wires on about turn, okay? And when the horse do this, out of all those, how many let you look at? One. Right. Not too bright on your horse's part, is it? Now, if you flip to the top of page 10, this is a picture of tunnel vision. Okay. Now, how many people wires you see drawn in there? Whose is it? Person A. Right? How many are missing? 4. No, damn it! Come on, we only drew 5, but how many are up there really? Of them. Okay, so all the rest of those are missing. How many behavior and trait kegs you see drawn there? How many are missing? 500,000, large of thousands, okay? So, now if you're taking a course from me, and I only give you one test, and you get a 45 on it, what's your average? 45. See, I don't ask tough questions now, right? So if that's the only variable your horse looking at is person A's keg, and it goes to 45, where's Al Hooky going? 45. Look in the figure down below on this page. Where's Al Hooky now? 45. You just lost 40 some odd points of your value just because person A's horse told them a bunch of lies. That's not too bright on your horse's part, is it? No. And then if you peek at the next thinking style, big word at the next page, what is it? Dichotomous thinking. But we don't like big words, right? So it's just all or nothing. Black or right or nothing in the middle. You're still on that one. Right. All horse in the world great at these two thinking styles. Now remember, there's 4 irrational basic thinking styles. That's demandingness, awfulizing, I can't stand it, and condemning, damning. These are 2 extra thinking styles within the system of self-esteem. Okay, so if the horse add in dichotomous thinking on top of tunnel vision, can the keg stop at 45? No. It has to either be in its usual place or all the way at 0. So, if dichotomous thinking, if you took it to page, where'd the keg go? 0. Where's Al Hooky going? 0. And that's a literal translation of the routine your horse runs on you with you being put down. That's exactly the routine it runs. Now we're going to try to dramatize this on your rider. But before we do it, we better do a nose check. Check your nose! Is it straight? Check the people next to you. If they're straight, because it's going to get what? Bad. Because it's going to get a little loud and intense and emotional in here now. See, the last time I did this, I picked on a male. So you're safe. Pick on you today. Make you be a female. Your significant male gets into being upset with you, tells you they don't ever want to see your face again. Sound like he means it. Well, what's the very first thing her horse do? How many variables is she looking at? 1. What's the name of it? Him, right, him, just him, right? How many variables she screen out? All the rest of them. And then the horse say, listen, honey, either he cares about you at his usual level, or he don't care about you at all. Listen, dear, do we have a little bit of information that right now he don't be caring at his usual level? Do we? So we must conclude from her horse's current caring level, perception of his caring level, that it's at And how many variables is this gorgeous female looking at to measure her entire being on? And what's the horse's perception of that one? So what's a horse's perceived value as a person? It's a literal translation of the routine your horse runs on you with you being put down. And that's exactly the routine it runs, isn't it? See, I look around the room while I'm doing this explanation. See how many of you are getting it? I still only see that one blank face I've seen all the time. You know that face is going, oh no, what the hell's Tom talking about now? God. But the rest of your faces are going, damn, now that he explains it that way. Right, yeah, my horse run this routine on me a lot. Now, the emotion I just described with her is the emotion that everybody refers to as hurt. Hurts when your horse turns you into a zero. Because somebody else out there don't be treating you with enough incoming demonstrations of love, approval, or respectful treatment. Now, I'm not going to go into the depth that I did with her on hurt with the other 5 power emotions, but they're caused by the same 2 thinking styles and the system of self-esteem. Okay? Thinking styles are what? Tunnel vision and dichotomous thinking. Okay. The next one, inadequacy or inferiority. That's when your horse goes, but it don't look at a people wire, it looks at a behavior and trait wire. In other words, it tells you you screwed up at something, and either you do it at your usual good level or you didn't do it very well at all. And that's the only variable it looks at, so it turns you into a because you screwed up at something. So you see the result is the same. The difference between hurt and inadequacy is that the result is the same. You're still a zero. But the source is different. Hurt always comes from a people wire. Inadequacy or inferiority always comes from a behavior trait wire. The next one's depression. Depression, horse say, listen, honey, not only do we have to currently admit you're a zero, but face the fact now, dear, you're always going to remain a zero. Now, who in their right mind want to live the rest of their life having to be a zero? That's when people start thinking about checking out of this place, because that's what creates the hopelessness and the helplessness. And then the next one is anxiety. Your horse say to you, listen, big guy, you are not a zero. Yet. But soon you're gonna be. And what are the 2 possible sources of his being a zero shortly? Either soon he thinks somebody ain't gonna be caring enough about him or treating him with enough respect, or shortly he's gonna be screwing. Don't say up! Come on, screwing at something, and his horse gonna go douche. Right? Okay. And the last one is the one you used to think your mother caused you to have, start with G. Guilt. Right. Now you know the only entity on earth ever made you feel guilty is who? The horse. Not your mother helped. She made the sandwiches. Your horse ate them. You can teach your horse to stop eating your mother's horse stuff sandwiches. And if some of the females in the room kind of, I see them glancing out the corner of your eyes near the males next to you. Many males got this quizzical look on their face. Let me see if I explain that quizzical look to you. Male horse, they're going, what the hell's he talking about with these wimpy emotions he just went over? I don't ever get none of those wimpy emotions. No, damn, I never feel hurt, inadequate, depressed, anxious, guilty. Nope, damn, I don't get none of those wimpy emotions. I just get the male emotion, baby. Yeah, I just get the male emotion. Yeah, anger, baby, anger. Yeah, just the anger, baby, anger. Yeah, the male emotion. Yeah, that's the only one I get. Face it, guys. Anger is just a peacock. What do peacocks do? They display. It's a display emotion. Whenever anybody's angry, It's just a display. Underneath that person is suffering from one of those primary emotions, and that's what's driving the expression of the anger out of their body. So, you see anybody angry, underneath they're always either feeling hurt, or inadequate, or depressed, or anxious, or guilty. Guys, whether you knew it or not. Now, you're not getting nervous, are you? Because I'm going to cancel it. He's fine. What are you laughing at? It could have been catching, right? No, yours is fine, too. I'm canceling it for everybody. Your significant other's fine. Don't go. Turn off. He's fine. So's yours. So it don't happen to you, but it does happen to your best friend. What's your first name?
Huh?
What's your first name? B.
Kit.
Kit. Is Kit in the room?
No.
Kit. Kit! Significant male gets into being upset with Kit. Tell Kit don't ever want to see Kit's face again. Sounds like he means it. Well, you all horses work the same way, right? So what's the very first thing Kit horse do? That type of thinking get Kit quite upset, don't it? Damn it, what's Kit always do when she gets herself that upset? Calls you up, wants to come over and what? And whatever else Kit horse wants to do. But damn it, don't Kit always bring her horse with her? I happen to be walking outside her house as Kit and her horse are arriving, and I give them both sodium pentothal. And it's working by the time they're sitting across from a kitchen table. And Kit the rider's sitting right here. You know, of course, Kit's horse is sitting right next to her. You know, and Kit the rider starts, and the rider's fairly factual. And Kit the rider say, oh, you know, so-and-so got very upset with me. Told me don't ever want to see my face again. Sounds like he means it. Of course, then Kit's horse pipe up. Now, what's the function of the horse? Always interpret what things mean. So Kit's horse pipe up and say, oh, yes! And you know what this means about me, don't you? This means I've been turned into an absolutely worthless, rotten, stinky piece of... No! Yeah, stop! Right, stop! Stop! Ooh, that was close. And as soon as he says that to you, you lean across the kitchen table just a little bit more you usually do. You look Kit right in the face and you say, you know, Kit, I have been suspecting that very same thing about you myself recently. But now that I've heard it out of your horse's mouth, you, out of my house. Don't you ever dream about calling me on the phone again, ever. If I should ever see that face anywhere on this earth again, this face walking right by that face, just like this. Because I don't associate with worthless, rotten, stinky pieces of stuff like you. Do you say that to Kit? Let's try it again. No, okay. Do you even think that about her? When she utters such drivel in your face, what do you start doing with her? After you get done sympathizing, then you what? Talk her out of it or argue with her nicely. You say things like, hey, I still care about you. Oh, but that don't count for a damn thing, does it? Because you're still a... You know, this person, I know, those three people, they still care about you. Oh, that don't count for nothing either, does it? Because you're still a... You know, this behavior, you do those three behaviors better than anybody I know. That doesn't count for anything. Don't you make those types of arguments with her. And when you're making them, don't you mean them? Well, at least don't you mean most of them? Everybody fudges a little bit under the circumstances. So do a nose check, because here it comes. So tell me, why do you think you're so much better than that best friend B that's on the paper there? Why do you think you're so much better than Kit? I know what you're sitting there thinking. Thinking, what the hell's he talking about? I don't think I'm any better than my best friend. Yes, your horse do. It's called horse doo-doo. Not that word you almost said. Let's see if we can stick it in your horse's face. Let's review what I just did here. First, I had this thing happen to you, right? Specifically her. Then I what? Canceled it, had it happen to your best friend. Her name was Kit. So to state it accurately, I had the same exact thing happen to both of you. Except when I had it happen to you, your horse turned you into a zero in a flash. And it never even entered your mind that Kit would be a zero if the same thing had happened to her. Somebody's lying to you. Because the truth is, either you're both rotten, worthless, stinky pieces of
Stop.
or neither one of you are. Now, in an out loud, non-geriatric answer to this question. Which one is the truth? Neither one of us are. Let's try it again. Which one is the truth? Neither one of us are. And which one is the lie? You both are. Usually I don't have to give an audience help on that one. Bam! Right? And you tell me, which one is the most obnoxious lie on earth? The most obnoxious lie on earth is when the same exact thing happens to both of you. You're turned into a zero, and she's not. Isn't that the most obnoxious lie on earth? And how many times has your horse run that lie on you? More times than you want to remember. I want your riders to get good and mad forever. So I'm going to try to help them. Sitting on your lap right now is an invisible, adjustable bucket. Into that bucket right now, I want you to put all the pain your horse has caused you in your entire lifetime as a result of it making you feel hurt about anything. You put all that pain in that bucket. Get an idea how heavy and how big that bucket is. The reason I had it be adjustable is you now put all of the times it's made you feel inadequate or inferior about anything. That ain't a pleasant feeling. Add in that pain. It's probably been able to make you feel depressed on occasion. Depressed ain't pleasant. Add in all the depressed pain. I know it's been able to make you feel anxious lots of times. Anxiety ain't pleasant. Add in the anxiety pain. Probably been able to take you on one or more guilt trips. Guilt ain't pleasant. Add in the guilt pain. And then add in, if you think you can make the bucket big enough, all that demonstration pain of the anger that goes along with all of that. And you face this fact right now. Every single ounce of the pain in that bucket has been caused by a lie. Hasn't it? Doesn't that make your riders mad? I'm asking every single one of you in this room right now to join a war. And that war is to annihilate these types of horse lies off the face of the earth because they ruin people's lives or they put serious dents in them. And the first person that you can have join this war, is your rider. And you can start listening to what your horse has to say. Here's your horse right over here. You hear it coming at you with the lies, you reach out there with this good hand and you grab it fully by the throat and you shut it down. And you reach back here with this other hand and you rip it down its throat. And you grab those lies and you rip it out. And you reach back here with the truth and you shove it down its face time after time after time until your horse starts learning to tell you the truth, until it stops with the lies. And after you get a little bit good at that yourself, you go out after those two buddies I had you pick earlier. Remember the work buddy and the non-work buddy? Now, you've never tried to explain this stuff to another human being in your lifetime before. There's a reasonable probability the first couple of times you go out to explain this, you'll screw up the presentation. Now, the reason I had you pick these two big people is no matter how badly you screw up the presentation, you can't possibly screw them up any worse than they already are! And then, after 2 times of explaining it, you're still not real happy with the way you've come up with to explain this stuff to another human being, then you find some more safe big people and run the explanation by them until you found a way that you like explaining this stuff in your own words to another human being. And when you've hit that point, you turn around and you do me a favor. You go out after the most important people in your lives. You teach this stuff to your kids. Why do you want your kids getting to be your age before they have a chance to find out about the lies? Why do you want them going through all of this unnecessary pain that your horse has put you through? You teach them that external events and the way other people treat them do not cause the way they feel and behave. You teach them that the power and the control is right in there. You teach them about horses and riders. You teach them the Carson scale. Now, you can't teach them the should stuff until they get to be teenagers because they can't understand it to then. But they got a best friend, don't they? And unless your kids are yet tiny yet still, they can understand what their best friend's first name means. And in case you didn't get it the first time, I'm going to rip it by you again. Anytime life hands you something tough to deal with. Here comes the event. Before the horse can tell you the lies, what's your first job? And then you take this event that was happening to you, and you switch it over there, and you see it happen to who? Come on, what's her name? Who? Kitten. Let's make it real. Remember that big, bad, nasty person I was talking about? Boss's boss? Boom! Blow you out of the water. Here they come, calling you all kinds of names. Now, you know what your horse is going to do in a second, don't you? Boo! But before it can what? And you switch it over there, and you see that bad person be attacking who? Kit. Calling her, same names, same obscenities, same facial tones. Now, we know horse, right? We know what Kit's horse is going to do. But you look over there at your best buddy now, being badly mistreated by this other person. When you look at her, does this treatment of her really turn her into a worthless, rotten, stinky? Do you see and feel the head shaking no in this room? Do you see how easy it is for you to think hard? No, literal. Precise and accurate when it comes to interpreting what things really mean when it's happening to your best friend? Then damn it, if the same exact thing is happening to both of you, if it means this about Kit when it's happening to her, the same thing is happening to you. If it means this about Kit, then it damn well better mean the same thing about who? That's what your best friend's first name means until you die. And your kid's got a best friend, and they can understand what it means. Now, I want you to do a time project on your kids. That means you get an idea of their ages right now. And given normal life expectancy rates, calculate now how many more years they got left on this planet. Any of you in here old enough to have grandchildren? You do a time project on the grandchildren, too. Now, you imagine this. You go home soon, get this stuff under control yourself, teach it to your buddies. Not quite happy with it yet, so you could find a few more safe big people. And then you found the way you like. Okay, now start seeing yourself teach it to your kids. Now, they don't get it real good first time, but they go out to wherever they go, school in the daytime or whatever. They come back. They talk about some tough event that they tried to handle with our new stuff. They didn't do a great job. They did all right. And you coach them, show them how to do it better. Then they go out again, they run into another tough event, they come back, they talk it over with you, you coach them again, they get better. Now, follow them down a couple months. See them get real good at the system. Now, you follow them out over their entire lifetime, looking at the tough events that they'll probably have to run into. and you get an idea how much pain in their lifetime you will have helped them prevent. I want you to ask yourself 2 questions that echo in your ears forever. Why didn't anybody teach us this stuff when we were younger? Why isn't anybody out there teaching this stuff to our kids now? I want you to do something about that, damn it. I didn't come here just after you. I came here to get you to join the war, to stop the lies. I'm sick and tired of seeing the pain and the poor performance these lies cause on this earth. And after you get done with your horse, you can go out after those little horses that you care about. And you can start bringing up the next generation around here that don't got so many lies in it. Can't you? Now, turn back to page 4. Quick. Page 4. Remember, there's that thing in the parentheses at the very bottom. What do you put in it? First name. Put your best friend's first name there. Quick. Best friend's first name. Got it? So let's read the sentence again. Ready? Come on. That event, whatever it was, should have happened, and it's about blank % bad, and I can stand up blank. Now, she and I are going to say what? Kid! And you guys are going to say your best friend's first name. What's that mean? To find out what things really mean, you what? You take the event that was happening to you, switch it over and have it happen to someone else. In this case, your best friend. And you find out, does that really turn him or her into a rotten, worthless, stinky piece of... Does it? No. No. So therefore, it don't make you be a rotten, stinky piece of stuff. A little slow. Okay. Okay, so every time now, I want you to pick one thing to start working on. One specific event that you would severely like to stick it in whose face? Horse. Meaning what? That you've made it do the C word. What's the C word? Change, damn it. Change, right. Okay. And then follow through on my explanation, right? Who's still going to be there? Horse. Drop your hands. Right. And then who's going to catch it? Right. What's that signal? You say what? Hi, Tom. And then you say what? Come on. That event, whatever it was, should have happened, and it's about blank % bad, and I can stand a blank kid. Okay? And then you will start to slowly teach who this way of thinking? Horse. Okay, now. There's a reasonable chance we could run into each other again, isn't there? Mm-hmm. So, but you could see each other. You two know each other? It work? All right, when you see each other again, all right, and you're walking down the hallway, you know, and they got intersections like that, and you see her way down there, or you see your special buddy you're going to teach you stuff at work, and you'll be walking. Now, you know that special moment in time when they've recognized that you've recognized each other? Right then, couldn't you play with that a little bit? Now, I'll pretend it's like right down this hallway here, right there. All right. You're walking down. This is where you catch their eye, you go. Couldn't you play with this a little bit? You know, or couldn't you go like this and you go, huh? You know, couldn't you? Or you know, some athletes on the field, they think they do something neat. Lots of times they run at each other a lot and they do this. What's this? What's that? High five. Get creative. What's this? High horse. Right. High horse. Give me a high horse on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Now, what's the first thing I taught you? Is scream back at your horse. Right. So what do you think you say? Scream as this reaches the apex. Sit. Okay? And then you're out here. Ready? On 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Sit down. Right? That's the new greeting. So you see each other again. How do you say hi? Sit down. How do you say hi otherwise? Okay, any questions?
Are there any ways to counter your immediate horse reaction?
Yeah, there's lots of different ways. Mostly you use humor. Okay, so that as some event is coming at you now, instantaneously, who's going to tell you what it means?
Your horse.
Drop your hands. Get you to be over upset and deliver the old behavior. And then a little while goes by and you go, what? Right. And then that's your signal that who became awake? The rider. Okay, now, right then is when you want to use some symbolic, funny image to flip your horse. Just imagine your Clydesdales out driving. Pretty strong horse, huh? Right? So you want to use some humor to flip it so the legs are out like this. Or if you think it's funny, you're up like this. Right? Okay. Now let me give you one. Remember before we said, boss call you stupid? Right? So let's say it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Boss blow into your office and say, you are stupid. Well, instantaneously, who's going to be there? Horse. Right? Drop your pants. Make you feel bad. Boss don't think I'm worth anything and dumb and stupid and whatever. Okay, now, let's say it's a she-boss, okay? She-boss. She's got hair. See the hair? Okay, this one always wear dresses. Okay, now pick up the hemline. All right? Now, nice nylons. Okay, now, all right? Today she got on these gorgeous red high heel shoes. Can you see them? Say, okay, now, look in the shoes. See hooves. Okay, now come back up to the nylons. All right, see that coarse hair sticking through the nylons? Right? What type of hair is that? What type of hair? Horse hair. Where's your horse? How many shoes you see? How many shoes you see? 4! Right. Now, does she know you're looking at her 4 shoes? Does she? No. But where's your horse? Where's your horse? Limp. Right. His. How do you know you got a his horse? Right? Come on. Right? Many females think they have a male horse now. Come on. Right? But your horse is flipped. Okay, now that, using some type of symbolic, funny image to get a laughter response in here, flips your horse, okay? Then you want to kind of pin it there, and then that's when you're going to think our sentence. Okay, come on. My boss should have just called me stupid, and it's about time. No. And it's about how bad we say it was before. 3% bad, and I can stand 3. Best friend's first name. Come on. Good. Okay. Right? And that means what? You take, if Kathy's boss had called Kathy stupid, would it mean that Kathy's stupid? No. No. Would it make sense to for Kathy to feel like she's a? No. No, but her horse would probably, right? But then if it happened that way to her, it doesn't mean boom. Got it? That's what makes it only a 3 or a 4. Okay? But you want to come up with some type of funny image to flip it, and then you can use it, of course, earlier. Every time you see that boss, you see that big skirt with 4 hooves walking out, red shoes on. Wouldn't it be funny? So the more you can practice associating that symbolic funny image with a particular event you're working on, like dealing with the boss's horse. Remember, the boss just got and it got, and it was. Branson, damn it, you forgot that. Right, okay? That the more you can associate it when it's not on, when their horse not out, everything's fine, you practice it, you're getting more and more used to it. So you see her walk and you're looking and say, damn, look at those 4 shoes. I mean, she's not being anything at all. She's just walking down the hallway. So the more you can do that, the more you associate it. And then quickly, if the boss horse does come out and start saying, you go shoes. She goes, stew, you go shoes, right? And then that means that you're kind of redoing changing the way the horse thinks. Okay, but that's how you use humor.
Thank you for watching Self-Discipline and Emotional Control with Dr. Tom Miller. If you would like to share the benefits of a career track seminar with the members of your company or organization, you can have a customized program presented live at your location in any length, from 1 hour to a full day. For details, call our on-site department toll-free at 1-800-325-5854. For a free catalog containing all of Career Track's audio and videotape programs, call 1-800-334-1018. Thanks for watching, and congratulations on making Career Track your success company.